911, what is your emergency?
I nailed my finger to a birdhouse accidentally.
Do you have some bacon?
Bacon?
That's right.
I had bacon left over from dinner last night.
Rub some bacon on it.
What?
On your hand, just do it. Rub some bacon on it.
That's all there is to it? What if I drop my phone?
Rub some bacon on it.
Or encounter my clone?
Rub some bacon on it.
I get mononucleosis.
Rub some bacon on it.
My nude pics get posted.
Rub bacon on it. Rub bacon on it. Rub some bacon on it.
My home gets foreclosed.
Rub some bacon on it.
My cat explodes.
Rub some bacon on it.
I wake up in a trunk.
Rub some bacon on it.
My friend goes steampunk.
Rub some bacon on it.
I meet real
Rub
pirates.
some bacon on it.
There's an awkward silence. I say something unintentionally
Rub
racist.
some bacon on it.
I'm an adult with
Rub
braces.
some bacon on it.
I can't swim.
Rub some bacon on
I'm
it.
visited by Mr. Kim. Hey, boy.
Rub bacon on it. Rub bacon on it. Rub some bacon on it.
What if I beat the troll? I'm attacked by a narwhal. The apocalypse started. I think I might have sharded.
Bacon on it. Rub bacon on it.
Calling all stations. Clear the air lanes. Clear all air lanes for the big broadcast.
It is the big broadcast, happy hour, News Talk 93.1 FM, WAC. I'm your gracious, occasionally trucking host, Greg Budell. Not feeling that great, but Tom Moore is here to carry the load. Everybody,
Happy Wednesday.
it's Tom parking his car earlier. I didn't make it to the air show to see Fifi. I didn't get to see Fifi.
Yeah, I didn't make it out there this weekend, but I was out in the yard Saturday, and she flew over the house and flew over my folks' house, and then she just flew over about an hour ago.
You're kidding.
No, they were leaving it today.
How did I miss that?
No.
Just to see it. Fifi is a B-29 bomber, one of two still flying, and was here this weekend. Listener from Swami's Red Top said he had seen Fifi over Taylor Road yesterday. Must have been the same flight you saw.
Yeah.
This flight is not feeling it good. I'm not feeling it good today. I'm not bitching. I'm not being a whiny ass or a candy ass. I'm just not. In fact, I may look around and see if there's a dock in the box open after this show's over. But David Blackman's going to join us soon at 3:30 to explore the never-ending American idiocracy. And the Yankees keep winning. That's good news for me, too. So I'm taking, I prescribed myself a bag of Hershey chocolate nuggets.
Sure beats a shot in the ass.
Yeah. Actually, I'm wondering if I wouldn't need a steroid shot. On Mondays, this is May the 4th. I think by this point in the day, everybody's tired of May the 4th be with you and all that stuff. But Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos would like to reiterate that message. In fact, you know what? David likes him, so I think I'll wait till David's on. Otherwise, headlines today. I don't know if this is true. I'm trying to confirm it. Check this out. Check this out. See this chubby woman here? She is a naturalized U.S. citizen who emigrated to the U.S. was a refugee from Laos. He's been a U.S. citizen for several decades. But the story going around is that she admitted to being an illegal alien and is now the new mayor of St. Paul, Minnesota. What is it about that area of the country that the crack pottery seems to have gathered in force? My parents are illegal here in this country. I don't know. Nothing surprises me. And I don't know what to believe anymore either. Let me do this. It's real. We're going to take a very quick break for our first traffic update of the afternoon, and then we're going to come right back.
Well, hope everybody is having a great Monday afternoon. We are not seeing any issues right now, but we do see a good bit of little busy traffic around Montgomery, Travel, and Millbrook, but no issues that we're aware of at the moment. McKinnon Toyota just received a shipment of Toyota 4Runners. Financing as low as 2.9%. Plus, you get that small town service, and they're family owned. McKinnon Toyota, exit 212 off I-625 in Planton. Buckle up. Wendell Trader, remember Skywatch Travel.
A new year brings new opportunities, and right now the market is starting to shift.
Interest rates are beginning to come down, which means more buying power and more options for buyers who've been waiting.
If you're thinking about buying a home, this could be the moment to take that next step.
And whether you're buying, selling, or investing, having experience on your side matters more than ever.
At Hannon and Eddie Realty Group, we're also growing our team.
If you're an experienced agent ready to make a difference in this market and want to be part of a team that values knowledge, support, and results, call Hannon and Eddie Realty Group, where opportunity meets experience.
It's time to show Mom how much you appreciate her with a Ginny Lynn's floral creation for Mother's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call. 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for Mom. Call Ginny Lynn's Creations, 285-1000.
If you're a local business owner doing digital marketing, quick question. Are you getting the results you should be? At Blue Water Broadcasting, we see clients every day who thought their digital was working okay until we showed them a more cost-effective way to run their digital. With 7 radio stations and a full suite of digital solutions, we offer everything from search ads and social media to targeted OTT display and more. We don't just run ads, we build strategic campaigns that drive real results. Before you renew another contract, talk to us. Visit bluewaterbroadcasting.com. Talk to us. Visit bluewaterbroadcasting.com.
May the Fourth be with you. As you know, May the 4th is Star Wars Day. And since I always like to make everything about me, I like to think of myself as the new Luke Skywalker. Yes, Luke traveled across galaxies far, far away, while I experienced weightlessness for nearly 4 minutes. So there. He had Princess Leia, and I've got Princess Lauren. Oh, furthermore, I have my own arch nemesis. His name is Elon Musk, and he's very much like Darth Vader. Except, unlike so many other children that Elon has sired, he is not my father. Spoiler alert!
Well, that was a mistake. I'll play it later for David. It's 13 after 3, happy hour. I had a sequence of explosive sneezes going into the brain.
Allergy season never ends in Alabama.
This is a long one.
Yeah.
I mean, first thing in the morning, hour and a half. Just
I've lived all over the world, and I never had allergy issues until I moved here. But it's just a part of the continual growing season. So taking Allegra, Zyrtec, and keep on trucking.
When I left the morning show today, I tuned in a baseball podcast on the drive home, and I heard very sad news. John Sterling, who for many years was the Braves announcer and then got hired by the Yankees, passed away at the age of 87.
Oh, man.
And he was still doing games through the 2024 World Series.
Wow.
And then retired. He was your classic homer announcer that you could tune in a game, and just by the tone of his voice, you knew if the Yankees were up, down, or whatever. And he had a lot of quirky, he did very unique home run calls. He had a very unique way of telling the his viewers that the Yankees had won
or lost.
lost.
And I would like to see
And I would like to see a montage
of some of his best
stuff here.
Let's
why am I getting an echo? You didn't turn anything on over there. That
Nope.
All right. I will not be able to play this as long as that pot's open. I don't understand. Testing 1, 2. Nope. Still. You know, it's
a Monday.
challenging enough when if somebody just leaves things set up the way they're supposed to be, and now I've got a leg out in front of me here. No, there's no. Can I drop that bomb on the air abruptly? Because I really would like to. How did this get messed up? It worked this morning. There's the president hosting a small business summit. You know what? No, you never hear the media give him credit for anything, of course. This guy is always working. He's always
in front of the media.
I don't think he sleeps.
I don't know what he does, but
he thrives on
work.
But he
doesn't run from anybody, doesn't hide. Joe Biden spent half his presidency on the beach and the other half not knowing that he was president. It's just unbelievable. Says we're doing well in Venezuela. Good. I loved listening to Joey, all the hysteria now. And he answered it perfectly. The redistricting. And the Supreme Court ruling was spot on. Because the protests are all coming from people who think black people have no choice but to run or vote for Democrats. That's got to end. What have the Democrats done for you, really? LBJ passed that bill in 1964. Is poverty any better? Education any better? It's getting worse. Is the black family in better shape today than it was 40, 50, 60 years ago? No. So why do you keep voting for that same spiel? And Joey came up, try voting or running as a Republican. You do have a choice. The Voting Rights Act did not, LBJ knew it would, but that did not. See, that's the whole thing. Slavery, reparations. The Democrats still practice slavery. They just use nicer methods than they used to. It's slavery by checkbook. It's slavery by promises, freebies, and a system that's easily abused, as we have seen, by the billions of dollars, the nonsense in Minnesota with Somalia and little Somalia there. How do you end up with 250,000 people from another country in one spot? Like they're going to vote for the best interest of our country and not theirs. Unbelievable. Let's see. No. All right, there's something over on that side that is not.
Is it coming from my mic?
I don't know. I don't think it's from the mic. It's from the system. Oh, well. Headlines. Let's go to Citizen Free Press. See what they're talking about over there today. Oh, South Carolina, the Clyburn district made it. This is the thing. Look at some of the people that these current districts have given us. The Jasmine Crockett's and clown. It's a clown show. Silly people. That woman in Florida that stole $5.7 million in COVID relief money. She didn't just take a few bucks or treat herself to a limo ride or a nice meal. $5.7 million, and she's still acting like, well, I didn't really do anything. Bull feathers. Maybe we'll actually get some sane people running for office. That would be nice. Al Green in Texas. Hank Johnson in Georgia. Guam's going to tip over.
I mean, this is what. I don't think that's what I understand.
Mine, but I do think it's what LBJ had in mind
with that
1964 bill.
And LBJ
was known to throw the N-word around, so giving sanctimonious crap about him.
Wow,
Ron DeSantis mocks Hakeem Jeffries' voice during redistricting fight, sparking fury on the left. You know what? The left is always furious. Always furious about something. Because they don't know what happiness is. They are not capable of being happy. They're not capable of embracing positivity. That's why they're leftists. The thing that they all have in common is anger.
I was watching the
Senate hearing with Hegseth and Kane, and just watching Elizabeth Warren. I don't think I've ever heard her speak happily or normally. It just seems like a screaming grandma.
Elizabeth Warren?
Yeah.
Shrill.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and how about this?
Oh my God! And how about this? I posted this on Facebook.
A tweet from her
a year ago. She was bragging on blocking the merger of Spirit and JetBlue. And guess who just went out of business?
Yeah, I heard
she shared or sold some stock right before it was announced that they were going under instead of being saved. So look for an insider trading investigation on that one.
Oh yeah, it's just uncanny that someone like her continue. And the people of Massachusetts, what is wrong with you? You keep sending her back.
Yeah.
What has she done for you?
But you're right.
I haven't seen them happy, and it's just
they're not.
You just where is that begrudgment, that hate in the soul?
It's never enough.
You got to live happy, and
whatever it is, it'll never be enough for them. They can't deal with it. Let's see. Okay, we have our topics for today. We're going to start with Spirit Airlines.
Yeah.
Tom Moore is sidekicking with us. Take a moment and tell everybody about your illustrious service.
Yeah, I had the honor of serving in the Air Force 22 years, so I'd always wanted to fly since I was a kid, and flew F-15s in Iraq and Afghanistan, finished up my career here at Maxwell teaching leadership, and got promoted to colonel, and they wanted to move us and my wife's family from here, so we decided to hang it up and enjoy the gulp. And so that's how we ended up here.
And he's been very involved in local issues.
Yeah.
As a businessman. And I think he'd be a great mayor. I also think he'd be a great talk show. In fact, if I don't make it till 6 today, I'm bequeathing this show to you.
I got it.
I haven't told the boss. Because Rick was here with the dogs. Those two goofies.
Maybe we'll get a mic set up at City Hall, and I can knock out 2 birds with 1 stone.
Be nice. I said that somebody was talking about it today, hypothetical situations. Yet I think if an election were held tomorrow on a Tuesday, which they usually are, Stephen Reed would win again.
You know, I don't think so. Believe it or not,
really?
I think a lot of his base would vote based on race again, but I'm seeing more and more African-American people in Montgomery are upset. You know, they're like, hey, like we voted for him. He let us down. I think anyone that runs a full campaign against him next fall, especially after Tuberville comes in and starts cleaning things up, it's just too much. And I've been blessed. I've lived in a lot of capital cities. I've lived in a lot of cities in America and overseas, and so I've got to see what normal cities, what normal government looks like. And I don't think folks realize this is not normal. So.
I was in Chicago
last weekend, and like I mentioned to you, our murder rate per capita is double Chicago. So I was statistically safer being in Chicago last weekend than I was being in Montgomery.
What part of Chicago did you spend your time in?
All over. We were mainly on the north side, flew into O'Hare, around Schaumburg, Wilmette, Highland Park, Wilmette.
You're not going to be in too much trouble up that way.
No.
But downtown, the place that used to be the safest place you could be in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, Southside's, but like I said, Montgomery we've got 30 murders per capita, and Chicago's 14. And that includes the city of Chicago, including the South Side, So statistically, we're not doing too great. But the mayor says crime is down.
Yeah, let's take his word for it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't manipulate statistics or rename things so they wouldn't count as murders, would we?
No.
I
think we got a lot to talk about when David comes on with Iran. But, as far as local goes, people are like, well, where are the police? Why is crime high? And I think you heard in the news that the water park is closed. I don't know if you heard that. So
it's a filtration issue or something.
It is. And so I remember when I got stationed here, there was rumor in 2018 of this water park. And then so they, the official announcement was in 2019. And then due to COVID, the cost overrun on that project went from like 20 million into like 100 million.
Isn't that funny how that works though?
Yeah.
These overruns.
But here's the interesting thing. It was kind of, it's too big to fail, right? So it's like, well, we've already said yes. The base wants it. Mayor Reed wants it. He's all about attraction. So the latest numbers is the city put in $50 to $60 million for that water park. And then the county put in like 5 to 6. And then there's private equity for another 20, 30 million to bridge that gap. And then the city annually subsidizes it to pay.
And so now you've got a
closed water park. You tore down the only homeless shelter in Montgomery
and the Salvation
Army there. It's on a main entrance to the base. So if there's an accident or high traffic, you're interrupting national security. I mean, national security at Maxwell, but I mean you get the point. It's a military base, and so it goes back to Stephen Reed. Attraction. He thinks if you build it, well, they will come, and that only works is if you got a foundation of safety and infrastructure, and it's just, and so now you know why they've defunded the police, because you got to pay for that water park that's closed. So
unbelievable. By the way, the Idiocracy with David Blackman, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body and Boulevard East Shirley Lane.
By the way, the Idiocracy with David Blackman, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body with a W. Let's see if I can do that, but I hope we don't have any issues with this freaking system.
Well, we are looking good around the area. No real issues that we're aware of anywhere. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka, Montgomery, just a little bit of busy afternoon traffic, and we're beginning to build a bit on East and South Boulevard. Please be safe out there. We will update you if any accidents happen to slow you down. If you have less than perfect credit, McKenna Nissan may have just the plan for you. Talk to David and let him explore all the options. They'll do everything possible to have you driving today. McKenna Nissan, exit 212 off I-65 in Clinton. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
Okay.
News is brought to you by Budget Floors and More, your new best friend.
You and I's, Mike. I wonder if that fixed it.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top story.
We can try it.
Today is the official deadline to register to vote in the upcoming
So
Alabama
your
primaries.
screen audio,
Voters in the state will go to the polls on Tuesday, May 19th for
playing
the
the sound of
Democrat
that,
and
so I
Republican primaries. You have until Tuesday,
That would
May
be my
12th
fault
to
for
cast your absentee ballot vote by mail.
Did I feature
Montgomery's
my point?
Valiant Cross Academy golf team is one step away from being state
Hey, what's
champions.
going on?
The team has officially qualified for the high school state championship for the second straight year.
Is,
Valiant Cross
are you-
Academy will
I'm in
compete
the
in the
studio.
AISA
Is today
High
a good day to
School
sell
Golf
silver?
State Championships today and tomorrow in Auburn.
It's down today.
A local
so
man has been arrested
wanna,
after allegedly
buy low,
stealing
sell
a
high.
gun from the Montgomery Police
I think
Department.
if you're looking to sell
Officers
silver,
noted
I would
23-year-old Vaughn Sean
until
Devon
after this
Perry
war is
leaving a
over.
Calmar Drive store with a gun in his waistband. A records check showed the
It
gun had been
should.
reported stolen
It's
from the
just there's a
Montgomery
lot of
Police
uncertainty
Department.
how things-
Perry
things
also
gonna
had
end,
3
but,
felony convictions in separate cases.
But if you
From the
don't
Blue
need
Water
the money, I
Broadcasting
would
News
advise
Center, I'm
holding
Sky
on to
Mosley.
right now.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square
All
foot.
right, have a good
Sheet
day, my
vinyl
friend.
as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors
yes,
and More
but I can't
across
say
from
the
Del
name.
Rey Publix.
But there's going to be multiple
Starting
good
a business
there's gonna be
shouldn't feel
multiple good
overwhelming.
options.
At Janico
Wait,
Gulf Coast, we give you a clear, proven path to ownership.
I
You
think you're
receive
gonna have to wait
guaranteed
till
initial counts, local support, and the
possibly.
training
You're
you'll
gonna
need to
have wait
succeed
till
from day one.
January. So you got about another
For
8 or
over
9
35
months
years,
to those
we've
names.
helped people turn steady careers into thriving businesses. And you could
I
be
can't
next.
say.
Start your journey today at JankinClaims.com.
Have a good one, my friend. Bye-bye.
DeJuan Walker has been an Alabama Power customer since 1999.
We're being squeezed on every side. We hear about Alabama Power freezing their rates. That's the best news we can get. Alabama Power rate freeze will provide real relief for Alabama working families. Alabama Power is protecting their customers by making data centers pay their full costs, it makes me feel at peace. Alabama Power is really stepping up and doing what's right for customers.
I'm Todd Strange, and I had the privilege
David
of
is
being
here.
the mayor of Montgomery, 2009 to
I got him.
2019. As mayor, our top priorities were the safety of our city
And I think we should have the
community
echo
development.
fixed. If not, you can
Unfortunately, in
snap the
recent
crap out of
years, violence has raised its ugly head. We all have seen what's happening in our
You
community.
think you think you got a
More
cold?
has to be done to ensure the safety
I had a cold
of Montgomery. For
all
that
last
reason,
week.
I'm backing Republican Katherine Robinson for Attorney General. She has stood tall for Montgomery and said enough is enough. Katherine has worked in the Attorney General's office for 10 years. I've seen her lead and help set up the Montgomery Area Crime Suppression Unit and help pass tough new laws to target gang activity. Katherine Robinson cares about Montgomery, and she will work with Coach Strobel to put an end to violent crime and restore law and order. Katherine will deliver. On May 19th, join me in voting for Katherine Robinson for Attorney General.
Paid for by Robertson for Attorney General, P.O. Box 50063, Birmingham, Alabama 35253.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you got a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Well, hi, everybody. We are enjoying some warmer days and some nights that are not quite as cool. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Overnight, low temperature down to about 51. That's still jacket weather. Tomorrow, I think we're a little warmer with mostly sunny skies, up to about 82 on Tuesday, 87 for a high on Wednesday. Risk of a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm by Wednesday afternoon. But I think the better chances of rain and thunderstorms, some possibly severe, in the overnight hours Wednesday night into the first half of the day on Thursday.
We're gonna call Jay.
We'll keep an eye on it for you. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or you don't pay guarantee. Plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
News and talk.
Here,
without
I'm
the
gonna mute
static.
my mic.
The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
The world of idiocracy with Greg and experts, especially David Blackman, talking about all the latest mess. Get it off your chest and tune to the best. The tales of idiocracy. The tales of idiocracy. The tales of idiocracy. It's the tales of idiocracy.
And now we welcome from somewhere in Texas, the man with the 10-gallon brain. He's good looking too, friends. David Blackman, blogger extraordinaire. DavidBlackman.substack.com. Let me blurt it all out before I keel over and croak in the middle of my own show. How are you, David?
I'm good. How y'all today?
You don't want to know. You
Okay.
do not want me to answer that question right now. I felt like crap for the last 5 days. I've been to doctors. I got to go get my head examined tomorrow, which is a regular requirement in this business, I should say. Tom Moore is with us today.
Hey, Tom.
Happy Monday, man. I tell you what, it's another beautiful day here in the Gump. I don't know how things are in Texas.
Oh, it's just
How are
gorgeous.
things? Because usually we get what they have.
Maybe like, yeah.
Yeah.
We get a preview of it.
You
But yeah,
know-
it's been a gorgeous spring so far here. It was dry forever, and then we got a bunch of rain last week, and
Yeah, same
been
here.
nice.
It's been really nice. Moderate temperatures. It's fixing to get hot though.
The first thing we want to do is talk about Spirit Airlines.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Spirit Airlines. I posted a clip because the Democrats destroy everything. And it was a post on Facebook of Elizabeth Warren bragging, another Biden win. We blocked the merger between Spirit and JetBlue. How'd that work out for everybody at Spirit Airlines?
Yeah.
Did you see the story about the one pilot? He was one flight away from qualifying for retirement, and they took it away.
Yep. Yeah, that's classic. It's a cut rate airline for the lowest common denominator traveler. And like you say, Democrats ruin everything. And Pete Buttigieg, I saw a clip of him from 2023, bragging. He was on CNN bragging about the fact that the Department of Transportation, for the first time in its history, weighed in against that merger. First time they had ever intervened in a merger. Now, this was between Spirit and JetBlue, which would have controlled maybe 15% of the market, maybe, if they'd merged?
Maybe, yeah,
total.
if that.
How's that a violation of antitrust? I mean, it's just absurd. It's ridiculous.
She acts like that was Standard Oil or something.
Yeah, it's just crazy, stupid nonsense. But it's
if
typical of the
United
Biden
and America were going to merge,
administration. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if United and American and Delta said, guess what? We're one big happy airline now. That's an antitrust situation. Spirit and JetBlue.
Yeah. Spirit and JetBlue, no. If Exxon and Chevron wanted to merge, well, that would be, a pretty iffy question under the antitrust laws. You'd be putting big part of Standard Oil back together, which is why the laws exist in the first place. So, that probably wouldn't fly, but this thing was ridiculous. And Spirit told them at the time that this probably meant they did end up in bankruptcy, and they did, and now they're gone, and everybody's fired. And how many travelers were stranded yesterday without a flight, and no way to get a refund for what they'd already paid for?
David, it brings to mind, I'll never forget this, because Eastern Airlines was based in Miami during my wonderful run down there. And I swear, their corporate headquarters, their booking, all of it was based in Miami.
Yeah.
And I swear half of the people that work for that airline were listeners. And I remember Frank Borman, former astronaut, who was the CEO, they were having some financial issues, and the machinists wanted a new contract. And they were negotiating, and of course it was a big issue down there because so many people's livelihoods depended on Eastern Airlines. That we're getting that echo back with whatever you're doing there. So Borman said, here's our final offer. Take it or we're going to shut the airline down. Period. There was no wiggle room in his statement. None. And Jesse Jackson's down there and the union bosses are there. We're not going to take this. This is a slap in the face. Blah, blah, blah. So they rejected the offer, and the next day, Frank Borman shut the airline down, and less than 3 months later, I was being served cocktails by a former Eastern Airlines machinist. That's how well it worked out for them. When you let the Democrats get involved and the likes of a Jesse Jackson, do you think he was there to help the machinist? He was there for FaceTime because we couldn't get enough of his ugly face when he was around. Jeez. Yeah. And but that's Democrats, man. They are the Midas touch in reverse. Can I ask you a question, Tom?
Yeah.
Let's say I'm on a Spirit Airlines flight and the pilot and co-pilot keel over because they ate bad fish on the flight. Would you be able to go to the cockpit and land that plane?
No, because they're locked doors now. So,
well, let's just say they threw the door of the pilot with his last energy.
The flight attendants can now open the door, I think, from the outside. So after 9/11, it changed a lot how you can actually get into the cockpit. If I could get in, yes, absolutely. If I could pull them out of the seat, one of the two of them, absolutely.
Isn't that cool?
You could too. It's like riding a bike.
This is the kind of guy you want to be in a plane with, just in case.
Yeah.
He's very skilled.
You know what's funny is you really only need pilots now for bad weather takeoffs and landings. Planes can land themselves these days. In fact, they're so accurate. If you look at a runway where the rubber marks hit on the runway, they're so accurate that they have to bring a torch in every year and torch off that rubber because they land. It's called ALG, automatic land guidance. And so in 0-0 bad weather, the planes can land themselves.
David sent along, though, not all the Spirit Airlines travelers were happy people. David sent along a clip. This is like the best of Spirit. Is this safe for airplay? I got a dump button if it isn't, so let's not worry about it. Let's have a little fun. I'm going to put the audition button in so you can hear it. You get a little echo here. Ah, there they are. Yeah, throwing punches at the airport.
Go suck another dirty dick.
Oh, not even the spirit people can get along.
One nor the two.
Oh, man. Wow, you never saw that kind of stuff in an airport years ago. Never. But
well, there's a lot of things we have in our society now. I got the echo. That we didn't have 20 years ago, right? I mean, you know, our whole society is degenerated over the past 30, 40 years.
Awful. By the way, maybe I'll get to play it later. Sadness that John Sterling passed away. The voice of the Yankees.
Oh, right. Yeah, right.
The Yankees win! He was a genuine homer, and he had a, like, all rise, here comes the judge. I got that news right after the morning show today, and it made me sad all day. He just retired last year.
How long did he do the Yankees games? 30, 40 years, right?
1989 to 2024, so 35 years.
35
And you know,
years.
the real sucko part of that is that he's not in the broadcasters wing of the Baseball Hall of Fame. I don't know how that's possible. He did the Braves for a few years too. I mean, I remember.
Do they have to be retired to be inducted?
No. Tom Hamilton, the most excellent announcer for the Cleveland Indians. Oops. Sorry, post-George Floyd crowd. I forgot to call them the Guardians. Blow it out your beazer bag if you don't like it. He's going into the Hall of Fame this year and deserves it. Yeah. But they couldn't have held him out one more year. He's a young guy and put Sterling in while he was alive.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, and that's the show. Weirdness. It really is.
All I want to know is Harry Carey and Vin Scully in there? If they're not, then you just need to burn it down.
You know, Joe Davis. You know who Joe Davis is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Check this out. Joe Davis was the announcer for our Montgomery Biscuits.
No way.
On the radio. And that's where he was promoted from. I did the stadium announcing for the Biscuits a week ago Saturday, and it was a blast. And all the guys that work in that control room had all worked with Joe. Rich Thomas, our weather guy, they're good friends. We had Joe on our show a year or two ago after this promotion. But think about it. He went from doing the play-by-play for a Double-A minor league team to replacing Vin freaking Scully.
Amazing. That's just incredible. Yeah.
I mean, in your wildest dream. And he does a nice job.
Yeah,
does a nice job. And he loves being
He's
awake
not
at
Vin,
7.
but he does a great job.
No, nobody's Vin. Vin was the the word painter. He was the Rembrandt of baseball announcers. He worked for a mediocre team, of course, for many years, but I'm sorry.
He certainly did. I mean, they went 2 years without winning the series.
Think about it. 69 years he was with the Dodgers?
Yeah, from the early 50s until 2018. It was
man. And again, will there ever be another one like him? I don't know. They're everything is so sanitized and homogenized. Yeah. They're all starting to sound the same to me. Because why take a risk?
Exactly.
Well,
you know,
shall we venture from Spirit Airlines and baseball? We'll come back to baseball later, everybody, because you'd be disappointed if we didn't, right?
No.
But it is tough with Spirit, and David can attest to this, but, you know, those low-budget airlines operate on such a thin margin that when fuel prices rise, you know, they're just pinched, and Southwest is really smart because they hedge their fuel. And so,
they all do. They all do. I don't know what Spirit's program is like, but like American and United, man, they hedge everything. And
what does that mean?
It just means they're buying long future contracts on fuel. So they're buying it long range out. So if there is a bump in the road like this, you know, so to speak, that they can survive. I think the United CEO said they've already ate like $360 million in the first quarter of this year from fuel costs. So
Yeah.
they're passing it on through baggage and seat fees now, like as an addendum. But I mean, you can hedge for a while. But and we'll get into this for the next subject, but when you start hitting UAE's productions, and if they cap off these wells, there's global implications to what happened today.
Well, we have the number one oil and gas industry expert on the air with us right now, and that's
well,
where
all
we're going
companies
next.
hedge prices too. There's a lot of companies not taking advantage of these high prices right now because they put in hedges on at least part of their production. At the first of the year, at $75 or something for the whole year, and most companies hedge at least part of their production just to guarantee a certain rate of cash flow into their company. And so, some companies hedge everything. So it's just a difference by company.
That whole futures market's just crazy. I mean, they're basically selling something that does not tangibly exist at this point. So they're selling silver and gold future contracts, corn, so like right now, farmers, the way they're keeping their income stable is they're selling future corn. So like corn that will be produced next year, but there could be a natural disaster and they could have 0 bushels, but yet they'll still get income. So it's interesting.
By the way, before we
I just geeked out on you.
because I am not at the top of my game health-wise today, I have to kind of do things as I think of them. But the story that blew my mind, and I'm in a pretty good mood when I'm leaving the house to come in today. The last thing I look at before I walk out the door, judge apologizes to Trump's would-be assassin.
Yeah,
you
this
heard that
judge is a
correctly.
real problem.
Barakwi or something like that.
Yeah. He's
apologizing to
Alan
Cole Thomas, Thomas Talon. I don't know what the hell the guy's name is. I'm going to remember. It's 3. About his accommodations.
Well, they put him in solitary confinement, which they should have done. And the guy complained about it. I mean, you're going to put an attempted presidential assassin in general population in the county jail or wherever he's being held.
No sane person would do that.
No sane person would do that. So they put him in solitary, and his lawyers decided that was something to bring before this judge, who's a left-wing lunatic appointed by Joe Biden. And this judge may find a reason to let him off. I mean, this is one of these Marxist radicals who doesn't care about the Constitution, doesn't care about the law, probably doesn't even know what the law is.
Jean Pirro is very unhappy about this. By the way.
Well, she should be. And I'm sure his appointment was intentional. I'm sure they didn't follow the lottery guidelines for determining which federal judge hears the case. I'm sure Boasberg just looked at him and said, "You're going to hear it, and here's what I want you to do." And so he's doing it.
He was being mistreated in jail. What, they didn't give him enough butter for both sides of the bread?
Yeah. In my book, you bring a shotgun, a pistol, and 3 knives into the building where our president, vice president, cabinet, and about 300 law enforcement, you're not going to ever see the light of day again. So
yeah, that's what I don't understand is how's this guy alive? Because the Secret Service can't shoot, apparently. They got off 5 shots from within 10 feet of the guy and didn't touch him.
I think they analyzed the picture where if they would have fired, there would have been too much of a chance of friendly fire. Like when he's running by, there's too many other.
But the one agent that got hit in the Kevlar,
one agent got off 2 shots while he was running through there. You can see the fire coming from the pistol, but they shot him in the stairwell where there's no cameras. They got 5 shots off at him. At least that's the narrative that's being told by the Secret Service, that they got off 5 shots at him and missed all of them.
I think that's what he wanted. I think he wanted death by cop, and now he has to live with his consequences. And
I'm not sure he's going to have any consequences. That's the problem with this judge. He may not have any consequences, and that's going to be a real problem if that happens.
I think
I mean, just the idea. There's videotape. There's truckloads of evidence already, and a judge could let him off on a technicality.
Yeah, I mean, look at what the judges in Trump's cases did to Trump.
Yeah.
you know, I mean, they'll do anything to just say, because they hate Trump and the whole agenda is hate Trump. So if Trump was the one getting, you know, who was under threat by this assassin, well, they'll find a way to get him off if they can. And the problem is that our Chief Justice is corrupt and doesn't police these kinds of things. So anyway.
This is an irony too that I always thought of. So the Democrats are very anti-gun, yet they seem to be the ones using the guns. Does anyone else find any irony in that? I mean,
haven't all the assassins been leftists or Democrats?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Well, I know this last guy, he was a registered Democrat, supported the Kamala Harris campaign.
Yeah,
That's
and
I
Ron
do
Ralph,
that for a fact.
Ralph was an obvious CIA operative for years. We know very little about the kid from Butler because the FBI, CIA, or FBI Secret Service and the media have covered that up for whatever reason. And the baffling part of that to me is the president doesn't seem to care. So I don't really understand what's happening there.
You are 100% on point with that, David.
Yeah, that one was interesting. I think the local police were supposed to be the ones guarding that rooftop. They just miraculously weren't, you know, and he gets up on the roof, and I think there was some foul play in that one. But and to all of our avid listeners, the echo that you heard, that was 100% my fault. I'm running the stream here for the first time and did not mute the mic. So if you are offended, butthurt, or any way saddened, come to my coin shop tomorrow and I will give you free coins. It's trademark coins and currency, 2735 Office Park Circle.
It didn't bother me until you made the offer. I'm pissed off, so I'm coming tomorrow for my freebies.
I'm flying out. I'll be there tomorrow.
I appreciate it. If we only had direct flights from anywhere other, well, I guess you could hop on a flight in Dallas, and that's about all we have. Dallas and Atlanta.
What airline?
By the way, you're welcome to join the conversation as David Blackman guides us through the latest events of the Idiocracy. We have a call now at 272-9228, and they hung right up, which means no, this line will light up again.
And that means they get no free coins tomorrow.
No coins.
No coins for you.
No coins for you. Anyway, feel free. Now, I saw the market took a bit of a dump today. So what's your gauge on the status of things in Iran, the Straits, and the oil markets and all of that? It's not making me feel good right now.
Well, I was frankly surprised this morning when I get up and see that President Trump has only decided to start escorting ships through the Strait. And I'm really surprised he's doing it now, frankly. If you're going to do this 8 weeks ago, might have been a good time to start. But I mean, it worked. The Navy escorted 2 American ships through the Strait this morning without being fired upon. Iran claimed to have fired missiles at a naval vessel and hit a U.S. naval vessel. Completely false story. I just, I don't know that that's the answer here. And I don't think you're going to be able, unless you want to send 3 carrier groups right there to the mouth of the Strait of Hormuz and have all those naval vessels escorting tankers out of there, because there's a couple of hundred of them stranded. That's a big operation. And, the normal traffic through the Strait of Hormuz was 113 to 130 ships per day prior to February 28th. It's not a one-time thing. There's ships coming in, loading up, ships going out, back and forth every day. If you're going to restore normal traffic, I don't think, an escort system is the way to do it. It's not going to work. You might get 8 or 10 ships through there every day, maybe. But that doesn't really help much. So this is not really a remedy, and the market predictably responded negatively to it. Probably for the reasons I just laid out, and probably because they don't think it'll work. And or for very long, until the first time Iran blows a ship out of the water, because we haven't taken out their batteries or their drone capability. then it's all going to end. And so that's why you saw prices go up, oil prices go up, and stock prices go down today.
You know, just a few days, was it Friday? The Dow made it all the way back to 50,000.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, because it wasn't that long ago. It had fallen just below 46.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it might take a long way to claw its way back. And today it went down another 600.
Yeah, I think the market still knows that this is hopefully short term, but I think, you know, it doesn't bode well for Iran. I think they're in this pressure cooker and they're acting erratically, and this certainly did not help with negotiations. The long-term implications with hitting the port in UAE, you know, they just left OPEC, and they are a large producer, and a lot of stuff has been flowing out of that port since the Iranian ports have been shut down. And I mean, they lost 6 fast boats today. We knocked those out. Sadly, a South Korean ship got hit. And I think we're asking for ally help now. Like, hey, hey, China, you want to step in? You want to, bring some of your fleet over and help do this escort thing? But it's ridiculous. I shouldn't be surprised, but I am. I'll leave it at that.
I remember last week, I think it was a week ago today, David, we talked about shortages of fuel in Europe for the airlines there and stuff like that. Is that still looking like a problem? Like they may not have enough jet fuel?
Big time, yes. Yeah. Huge problem. And they probably got a couple of weeks left, and if they can't get more tankers in there. Europe has been, prior to February 28th, did refine a lot of its own jet fuel, but imported a bunch of it from the Middle East too. But the refineries needed Iranian crude because of the specific grade of crude Iran produces. They needed some of that to enable their refineries to blend it with other grades of oil and refine jet fuel out of that. Diesel is a heavy distillate. It's either the third or fourth. There's 11 products that come out of an oil stream during the refining process. Diesel is the third or fourth. Jet fuel is right above diesel. And so you need this mid-grade Iranian crude to blend with heavy crudes and lighter crudes to make the right mix to, blend all the ingredients or refine all the ingredients out of an oil stream. And with Iran not getting any oil out, then Europe can't really do its own refining, and there's not enough tankers with the products on the ship already refined to supply their needs. So they're going to have a problem. California is going to have a problem, and that's a national security issue because of the 40 military bases in California that need that jet fuel. And I think this week or next, you're going to see President Trump issue a series of executive orders under the Defense Production Act to effectively take control of California's energy system.
Well, I appreciate that insight, Dave, because today I was thinking, well, hey, why can't Europe take our oil and get it to a refinery to convert into, Jet A? And it makes perfectly sense if it's not the right type of oil and to convert into jet fuel. But that's unfortunate.
And this is why, by the way, it's not good news that Iran, by shutting in their oil, if they have to do it, is probably going to lose a lot of production permanently because of the nature of their formations that they produce it from. That's bad news for the world because the world needs that grade of crude to refine diesel and jet fuel.
David, we got to pause here at 4:00, but boy, we got some stuff coming up. We're going to have a good chat about Tucker Carlson. And I wonder if I can find that clip where Candace Owens literally sounds like a moron.
Well, there's about 850 of them out there, so I bet you can find one of them.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to hit on that. We're going to cover many aspects and spokes on the never-ending idiocracy. By the way, to follow David, to read, to get his blogs in your inbox first thing in the morning like I do, so I can sound like a smart Hawk Show toast, go to davidblackman.substack.com and subscribe. Trust me, and especially if you want top-notch oil and gas industry expert, that's a place to go. And Blackman at substack.com, correct for that?
Correct.
David will be back in about 10
good deal
years.
That's in here.
I'm doing the best I can. I'm not 100% today. The stream of the show on YouTube, Happy Hour with Greg and Pamela on YouTube, is brought to you by Delkin Tomlinson, 819-4810 here in the 334 for top-notch family law expertise and what I call legal leadership. Because when you got a situation, whether it's divorce, separation, somebody coming back from the past, you're getting frustrated through the adoption process or issues with blended families where you need a will done. Go to the team that can take the information that you have, look you in the eye and say, here's the path. This is what we're going to do. We got this. Now you can go back and focus on your life while we take care of this business for you. If you know somebody who's in crisis, I can't give you a better number for legal representation. 334-819-4810. Or visit them online at thealabamafamilylawyers.com for Delk and Tomlinson, attorneys at law.
The representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hey, Scott, it is 4. You're Skipper with traffic.
And just like that, we have an accident. Ann Street on the ramp to I-85 southbound. Please watch out if you're taking that ramp off of Ann. Everywhere else, light to moderate building traffic, a little busy on East South Boulevard. We've also got a good bit of traffic, I-65 and 85 through the interchange, but overall looking good all over the area. Registration going on now at Trentham State Community College for summer classes that begin May 20th. That date's fast approaching. Change your life. Go to trenthamstate.edu and get all the information. Buckle up with J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
Mayday, Mayday, may I have your attention? I want to announce that Pizza Perfect in May, you can buy a large pizza at the regular price and get a large single topping pizza for only $10. You already know that Pizza Perfect has the best pizza buffet in town, including spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $13 at lunch and dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday all day. In May, buy any large pizza at the regular price and get a large single topping pizza for $10. Pizza Perfect, Coliseum Boulevard in Eastbrook. Available for pickup and delivery.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Today is May the 4th, Star Wars Day. Get it? May the 4th? Yes, while it may be dumb and annoying, it's not the dumbest, most annoying thing about Star Wars. That's still Jar Jar Binks. May the 4th be with you on Star Wars Day.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
Or David Blackman coming up, 405.
SRN News. I'm John Scott on Wall Street. Stocks fell from their record heights.
while oil prices jump following escalations in the Middle East that may be undermining the ceasefire in the war with Iran. Stocks turned lower after the United Arab Emirates, a U.S. ally, said it came under attack by Iran for the first time since the ceasefire took hold in early April. California's top insurance regulator says the state seeking millions of dollars in penalties from State Farm after an investigation found the insurance company violated state law while handling claims from the 2025 Los Angeles area wildfires. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani breathing on his own after being hospitalized with pneumonia and placed on a ventilator. Giuliani's spokesperson said that the 81-year-old remains in critical but stable condition at a Florida hospital. This is SRN News.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-573-4400. That's 800-573-4400. Again, that's 800-573-4400.
Have a happy new year with Rich Thomas Weather.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We are enjoying some warmer days and some nights that are not quite as cool. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Overnight low temperature down to about 51. That's still jacket weather. Tomorrow, I think we're a little warmer with mostly sunny skies, up to about 82 on Tuesday, 87 for a high on Wednesday. Risk of a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm by Wednesday afternoon. But I think the better chances of rain and thunderstorms, some possibly severe, in the overnight hours Wednesday night into the first half of the day on Thursday. We'll keep an eye on it for you. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Here in the River region, thousands of hardworking folks will be buying a home, some for the first time. How do you know you are buying the right home? It starts with research. A buyer's agent can help you in your search, providing a list of homes you may not be aware of or know about. At the same time, a meeting with a local lender to find out exactly what you qualify for and how much it will cost at closing and monthly. A list of needs and wants provided to your agent will help them locate properties that match those needs. An example would be bedrooms, baths, school zones, floor plan requests will also help. Start shopping and look at homes and compare and make a list of pluses and minuses for each home. Compare them with your agent to narrow the field. After you work out the contract, appraisals and inspections come next, and then the closing. For more details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883. That's 221-2883.
If you're tired of average meals and rush dining, come see us. Epicure and Jack's Tavern offers wet-aged steaks cut in-house, scratch-made lunches, unbeatable beer buckets, and unforgettable dinners. This is food made with pride and served with heart. We invite you to come visit soon at 2060 Downing Street in Millbrook. Epicure and Jack's Tavern. You'll taste the difference.
Traffic at 410.
Well, we've got an accident and street on the ramp to I-85 southbound. Please watch out for emergency vehicles there. Other than that, busy on East and East South Boulevard, our busiest of the boulevards at the moment. We've also got a little bit of congestion on West Boulevard around I-65. All of our feeder roads outbound beginning to get busy. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka reporting light to moderate traffic. Lowest tax rates in Alabama at McKenna Nissan. Plus, they've got up to 0% financing on 2026 Muranos. It's worth the drive, and they need your trade-in. See David at McKenna Nissan for all the details. Exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up. Wendell J. Montgomery, Skywatch Traffic.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
Welcome to the world of idiocracy with Greg and experts, especially David Blackman, talking about all the latest mess. Get it off your chest and tune to the best. The tales of idiocracy. The tales of idiocracy. The tales of idiocracy. It's the tales of idiocracy.
At 4:10, we welcome back David Blackman, blogger extraordinaire. Tom Moore sidekicking today, the future host of this segment in this show. It's a rumor I'm starting.
It's a good one.
David, we have seen, oh my goodness, the hand-wringing and the gnashing of teeth about the redistricting. I wanted to start this segment with that topic because while it should be sensational news, an end to discrimination, to solve discrimination, I never underestimate the ability of the Republican Party to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And I'm wondering how you see all of this playing out. I mean, our governor has called for a special session. And the case that's being made by some who dread this decision, who are apoplectic about it, know that this is going to make it very difficult for some of these idiots to say, we talked about Debbie Wasserman Schultz on Thursday, her district's being removed. I think it's great, but a lot of it has yet to play out. Is this going to be a game changer for the midterms?
Well, first, good for Kay Ivey, Governor Ivey, for doing that.
Yes.
She's very proactive, far more proactive than her colleague in Tennessee, for example. So good for her. And in Georgia, where, you know, we have a fake Republican serving out his last couple of years as governor.
Snake.
There. Yeah, Snake. South Carolina now is going to go through it. It looks like Jim Clyburn's district could be eliminated, which would just be too wonderful
awesome.
for words. That, you know, talks about a race hustler, that Jim Clyburn's maybe the worst that's still alive. And you eliminated Al Green in Houston and eliminated Jasmine Crockett in Dallas. And, you know, but there's a lot of different states. I mean, Pennsylvania could do this. All the New England states could be forced to do this because they've drawn half the districts in the New England states or race-based districts just to have safe Democrat members in Congress. So, you know, there's a lot of opportunity for the Republicans if they want to reach out and grab it. But you're right. You can always count on the Republicans to screw something like this up because they're, you know, most of them aren't really Republicans there. Most of them are, well, not most of them, but a lot of them are Democrats pretending to be Republicans to get elected. And, you know, that's how you end up with a Senate that can't pass a voter ID law, which is just bizarre. Yeah. So, you know,
I thought you guys would think it was funny. So I called out our mayor this weekend. He had the audacity to get on social media and blast the Supreme Court's decision.
Oh.
And I said, how ironic is it the city that fought and died for desegregation now has a mayor that supports segregation?
That's really what it is.
Are you fornicating me? I mean, it's just like, it makes no sense. Why? And then the further I think about it, he literally is about as racist as you can get. He wants all the white folks to move out of Montgomery.
Yeah, he doesn't
go to
care.
Pike Road, Prattville.
Yeah.
And then what's left is folks that he can control and brainwash. So it is just the epitome of irony. It's disgusting.
I mean, isn't it? Last I checked, it is legal for people of color to vote for a Republican or somebody that's not a Democrat, right?
It's legal, but it doesn't happen much. You know, I mean,
and that's so sad.
Actually, I guess they only got 88% of the vote in the 2024 election, the Democrats.
I'm sorry.
88%,
that's
which
wrong.
is very low for them.
That's just wrong, because the party of slavery, which is the Democratic Party, has just found a new technique to enslave people.
Sure.
By using fear and, the handouts and everything else. Oh, I mean, there's even outrage that you can't buy, sugary sodas and crap snacks with your EBT card anymore. And 4 million people have been booted off that program.
Yeah.
And then you saw I'm sure the list of luxury cars. I don't know if that was one state or system-wide, but like people who were driving Maseratis and Lamborghinis, Corvettes, Teslas, high-end cars are using EBT cards to feed their families. How does that work? How does that even happen?
Like 40% of the people in California, something like that, some crazy high percentage of all the people in California are using EBT cards to buy groceries. And then, by and large, aren't buying real groceries, buying Cokes and beer and, candy and all kinds of crap, food that is not nutritious and doesn't really do anything for them.
I know that it was being done in Florida because it got discovered. It was a bit of a scandal. But the convenience store, those folks were selling liquor and all cigarettes, all kinds of stuff, because they keyed in a different number so it wouldn't show up as cigarettes or liquor or beer on the purchase. So no wonder everybody loved those damn things. I mean,
but then they'd get caught, years later when there was an audit, when they had to undergo an audit and their inventory didn't match up to the sales records. But, while it's happening, they're making a lot of money doing that.
But the whole idea, that you made a good point, Tom. The capital of the Old South, that has all kinds of monuments to slavery, and if you're a tourist here, you got to be in a pretty somber mood because most of our highlight reel is really negative. This is where slaves are sold, yada yada yada. It's not Vegas.
Yeah,
let's put it that way.
But what Tom said, that strategy, that's the Democrat strategy in every city they run, to run all the white people out of the inner cities. So they end up with, packed into the central cities, just minority voters who they can control. And what are they doing? They're carrying out Lyndon Johnson's famous quote when they passed the Civil Rights Act, when he famously said, "We'll have these bleeps voting for us for 300 years."
Yeah.
And then I laughed out loud this morning. There was an article right on the heels of all of that court decision about some expert economists who have determined that the Great Society programs, Lyndon Johnson's Great Society programs, have entrapped multiple generations of minority families into poverty, which, if you remember, is exactly what Daniel Patrick Moynihan in 1967, liberal Democrat senator from New York State, said would happen, because the programs were structured to make that happen by the Democratic Party who passed those laws. And so, Lyndon Johnson's evil plans from the 1960s have all become manifest, and the Democrat Party has turned them into a permanent underclass and permanent political power, which is what the Democrat Party.
And those who break free, who dare to be different. Why don't we have more Byron Donalds and guys like that who want nothing to do with that stuff? They're free-thinking, independent people that want a life, that want prosperity. But man, and you see what they've done to the school systems and the brainwashing that goes on there.
Byron Donalds represents a majority white district. So does Wesley Hunt here in Texas, in East Texas. He heavily white district, like 80%. And he's a 4-term congressman.
That leftist culture would call him an Uncle Tom.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's
Why
why,
would he be an
there's
Uncle
not more of them. Why do you want to sign up for that abuse?
Yeah.
If you're a young African-American man, why would you want to sign up for that?
Hey, I think Bill Maher, again, you always want to double check, but Bill Maher is making sense. He gave Newscomb a bit of a hard time, didn't he?
Yeah, over the bullet train. Yeah, that was funny. Newsom,
And there
of course,
numerous
just,
other failures.
lied about it like he always does. And he'll, that's not going to be any kind of handicap for Newsom. He'll talk around it and the media will let him.
For all the changes in Barry Weiss, CBS, and so forth, the media is still overwhelmingly not just anti-Trump, but hate Trump, going with stories that are made up. And then today, this judge, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that one, apologizing to a guy who attempted to assassinate Trump, in fact, fired and hit a Secret Service agent, apologizing to this guy, excuse me, the alleged shooter, because there is so much room for doubt in this case, because his accommodations were substandard or something. In other words, if you want to see how bad it can get, we'll treat you like one of the January 6th people.
Well, now that would really be a cause for apology, but that's not what's happening with him. So what do you think about that? With the Secret Service? I was thinking a lot about that over the weekend. Here we are again with a miserable failure by the Secret Service to properly protect the president and other senior administration officials. Letting that guy just run through there and almost get into the ballroom before stopping him, even though there were hundreds and hundreds of law enforcement officials there. They were so poorly deployed. And the perimeter was set so close to the venue where the dinner was happening. It's just mind-boggling that they allowed this to happen again. And then you have the spectacle of the head of the Secret Service in that interview with, was it Newsmax, saying he wouldn't change a thing. He thought everything came off without a hitch. It was a perfect plan. And I'm just like, to me, if I'm the president, to me, that would be cause for an immediate firing.
Yeah.
If you're doing an after action report of that incident and your conclusion is that it was all great and I wouldn't change a thing, then you're not competent to hold that job.
Yeah,
it's as
I agree.
simple as that.
Yeah.
But Trump, in each instance, has had nothing but praise for the Secret Service, at least publicly.
Well, I would tell you, in Butler, there were some DEI hires that were incompetent, and I think they've been purged. I saw one of them still in the picture, but I think it calls for the justification of the ballroom. No way would you ever have the correspondence dinner and the entire cabinet in a hotel. That perimeter is it's too big. There's too many rooms upstairs. It's not a controlled environment. But to Trump's point, he said he said this that night in his address. You can do whatever you want, but crazies will still get through. And that is true. You can have the highest level of security, and when there is ill will and ill intent, sometimes they're still going to get through. But I think the new ballroom would prevent this instance.
Yeah, the first creature to react to this guy was a dog.
Yeah, dogs are awesome.
Yeah,
the dog
knew
immediately said something was up. Yeah.
The dog was smarter than the people.
No,
but it just, that you're right. The point about the hotel, the Washington Hilton, if for folks who've been there, know this is an enormous, sprawling facility. It's the biggest by far hotel footprint in the District of Columbia. It's enormous.
You'd have to lock it down for a week prior, and they're not going to do that because the lost revenue from the rooms. Yeah.
Exactly, which is why you don't hold it there.
Yep.
And there's dozens of points of entry and exit into that facility that someone could sneak in. It's like it goes back to the JFK assassination. when the Secret Service, half the Secret Service, the corrupt half, wanted to hold the luncheon the president was traveling to at the at the Dallas Trade Mart, which is where he was headed, which was impossible to properly secure. Impossible. Multiple stories, catwalks all over the place, dozens of entrances and exits, enormous facility just like that. If they hadn't shot him in Dealey Plaza, he was probably going to get killed at the Trade Mart, okay? The Dealey Plaza wasn't the only place they were trying to trap him. They had a backup plan, which is why they switched from the original choice was a facility at Fair Park that was easy to secure. And this is the same thing, this Washington Hilton. Why are you holding the thing there? It just doesn't make any sense. If you're president, you've got to realize that the Secret Service has always been a corrupt organization. The Secret Service was why John F. Kennedy was able to be killed that day. And nothing has changed in 63 years.
And we know with JFK, many of those agents were out at a private club,
at the Cellar Club,
drinking their asses off until late
4
in the morning. I think we have a call. By the way, you can join us at 272-9228. We're going to take a break here in just a moment. This time is flying by this afternoon because I do want to talk to you about the Tucker Carlson situation, and I can't wait to get your take on that. In other news,
that clip I sent you on that one is safe to play for sure.
Oh, well, then I will cue that up, and we'll have that ready when we come back from our bottom of the hour break here. Who is that, Tom? Do we have? Okay. All right, at 4:27, to subscribe to David's blog and get such excellent reading. I can, in fact, I save these and often read them twice. Who really killed Spirit Airlines? Excellent stuff in your inbox every day. There's a whole segment on Tucker Carlson, a whole blog on Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
What happened to that person?
These are people just saying how much they love you and they want to wish you to get better. Your fan club with no anthrax in the mail.
Greg.
They're asking, what do you want? Cookies, Robitussin, a good game.
I want the Yankees to beat the Orioles in 3 hours.
How about my Cubbies, though? Top of the division.
Well.
They're darn right they are.
They're playing well. See, we got another baseball guy. How does life get better than that, David?
Cubs are really strong.
It's funny. I know we got to get going, but I got a private tour of Wrigley a couple years ago from my buddy Chris, and I got to sit in the box where Harry used to announce, and it was pretty darn cool. Wrigley's got some awesome history.
Did it smell like beer vomit still?
It did. Here's a crazy story before we go to break. But in the bleacher seats, there's a wall back there. In the 70s, they used to actually have a contest. They would have people run on the wall and see who could from opposite ends. And people were falling off this wall and getting hurt.
That's why there's a basket there now.
Yeah. But this was a legit thing in the 70s. The stuff you learn about Wrigley.
You could sit in the bleachers for 50 cents.
Yep.
And then when the Cubs finally started to win in the late 60s and the drunks started coming out to the bleachers, now those seats are like $300.
They are. Could you imagine being drunk, though, and walking on the back wall of the Wrigley?
No. I absolutely cannot. All right, we'll be back with David Blackman, davidblackman.substack.com to subscribe, blackman.substack.com for energy. David, we'll see you on the other side of this break. And we're going to talk some Tucker, among many other things, and we still have stuff on the Middle East to get into as well. This segment of the show brought to you by Clark's Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. We're heading into the hot weather season. Do you have a company that you know will be there for you if something goes wrong? Call 277-2125 if you don't. These are the best. I've been with them for over 15 years. I bought a new system through them. They have kept my old unit running years longer than it deserved to. They save you money on your energy costs, and they employ the best plumbers on the planet. The point being, all of those folks are available on a moment's notice, 24/7, 365, if something goes wrong. And you get 2 in-home tune-ups for that $180 fee. That is a great value. If you own a home, it's crazy not to give it full consideration. Again, 277-365 2125 or visit clarkcomfort.com. Alabama certification number 09098. Back with David and Tom in just a moment. 1819 News next.
Well, we're seeing some busy spots right now, like East South Boulevard around Norman Bridge, past Baptist up to Woodley, East Boulevard at I-85. Got a good bit of traffic, Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka, and all of our feeder roads outbound from Montgomery beginning to build a bit. We did have an accident earlier, Ann Street on the ramp to 85 southbound. We're hoping they got that one clear. Keep it here for updates. Davis Door and Sash has quality replacement windows and doors. Save 10% on materials by mentioning this ad. Visit davisdoorandsashalabama.com or call 334-288-6010. Buckle up with the J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
News is brought to you by Adams Motorsports of Montgomery, where your pleasure is their business.
1819 News.
The River Region minority Republicans are coming out all in favor of the redrawing of congressional districts following a major ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court. The RRMR chapter chairman, Cedric Coley, says that for too long, Democrats in the state have engineered outcomes by way of drawing up district lines that are based on race and minority voter population. Coley says this is based on a falsehood that minorities will vote blindly along party lines without question or independent thought. The RRMR wants to see the congressional districts here in Alabama be returned to what was passed by the state legislature in 2023. That map was immediately challenged through a lawsuit filed by Democrats, which then led to a 3-judge panel ordering a new map to be drawn up in 2024. This then led to a new Congressional District 2, which is now being represented by Democrat Shamari Figures. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency is reporting a fatal hit and run in Limestone County that occurred this past weekend. The victim who was killed in this crash has been identified as 32-year-old Michael Fryu of Tuscumbia. The crash occurred along U.S. Highway 72. Fryu was pronounced dead at the scene. A trial is getting underway in Coleman County for a former Hanceville police officer. William Shelnut is facing charges of tampering with physical evidence within the police department. Shelnut is one of several employees now facing charges from the Coleman County District Attorney for promoting a culture of corruption within that police department. I'm Andrea Tyson.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
AdamsMotorsports.com on the web, or Adams Motorsports on the Boulevard in Montgomery. That's at Adams Motorsports in Montgomery, where your pleasure is our business. Come by and learn more about the new Suzuki GSX 8R motorcycle and see for yourself the bar has officially been reset.
What does it mean for a nation to be successful? I'm Stephanie Bryan, Tribal Chair and CEO of the Porch Creek Indians. We believe a successful nation gives back. As we've built economic opportunity and prosperity, the Porch Creek Indians have been able to give back to our neighbors in Alabama and beyond. More than $37 million since 2021 alone. From education and health care to tornado relief, learn more about our charitable giving at porchcreekindians.org.
I'm Todd Strange, and I had the privilege of being the mayor of Montgomery 2009 to 2019. As mayor, our top priorities were the safety of our city and community development. Unfortunately, in recent years, violence has raised its ugly head. We all have seen what's happening in our community. More has to be done to ensure the safety of Montgomery. For that reason, I'm backing Republican Catherine Robinson for Attorney General. She has stood tall for Montgomery and said enough is enough. Catherine has worked in the Attorney General's office for 10 years. I've seen her lead and help set up the Montgomery Area Crime Suppression Unit and help pass tough new laws to target gang activity. Catherine Robinson cares about Montgomery, and she will work with Coach Strobel to put an end to violent crime and restore law and order. Catherine will deliver. On May 19th, join me in voting for Catherine Robinson for Attorney General.
Paid for by Robertson for Attorney General, P.O. Box 50063, Birmingham, Alabama 35253.
It's time to show Mom how much you appreciate her with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Mother's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call, 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for Mom. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations, 285-1000.
Too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This is James Cole with Cole Plumbing, and I want to thank Blue Water Broadcasting. I have been advertising with them for several years, and they have brought me quality business. I really appreciate them.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We are enjoying some warmer days and some nights that are not quite as cool. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Overnight, low temperature down to about 51. That's still jacket weather. Tomorrow, I think we're a little warmer with mostly sunny skies, up to about 82 on Tuesday, 87 for a high on Wednesday. Risk of a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm by Wednesday afternoon. But I think the better chances of rain and thunderstorms, some possibly severe, in the overnight hours Wednesday night into the first half of the day on Thursday. We'll keep an eye on it for you. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Big dreams for your home on a tight budget? AFE's $26.26 as you covered. Unlock your home's equity with just $26 in closing costs. No fees, no headaches. Visit your local AFE branch today. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 420259.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I'm Jeff Bezos, and may the 4th be with you. As you know, May the 4th is Star Wars Day. And since I always like to make everything about me, I like to think of myself as the new Luke Skywalker. Yes, Luke traveled across galaxies far, far away, while I experienced weightlessness for nearly 4 minutes. So there. He had Princess Leia, and I've got Princess Lauren. Oh, furthermore, I have my own arch nemesis. His name is Elon Musk, and he's very much like Darth Vader. Except, unlike so many other children that Elon has sired, he is not my father. Oops, spoiler alert!
Shortwave, take it down, quick. What's it say? Shut up.
Breaking news from the Idiocracy. David Blackman, Tom Moore, that Jeff Bezos is now going to sell his mega yacht.
Oh, goodness.
It's only had it a couple of years. Remember they had to tear down a bridge in the Netherlands to get it out of the place where it was built? I mean, a mighty expensive toy, and for some reason, he's going to be forced to sell it.
Well, he's probably mad because who is it? DiCaprio has one that's bigger. DiCaprio's is like 417 feet long, and Bezos's yacht is only like 385. So I guess he's probably going to have a bigger one made.
We were overseas last summer, and we saw these off the coast of Italy, and it was like, who's got the biggest hoo-hoo contest? We saw Microsoft's co-founder, Limitless. We saw Jerry Johnson's out there. The cost to operate those things per nautical mile and how much you use them, it is astronomical.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It is
I've known one billionaire personally in my life, a guy named Jim Moran, and he was the guy that brought Toyota and Lexus to the southeastern United States. And I worked with him for 2.5 years as the marketing consultant for the #1 Lexus dealer in the world. And he took everybody out on his, I mean, I don't know why you would need a bigger yacht than the one he had. It was unbelievable. I've never been in a hotel or anything else that served better food, that had nicer accommodations. Unbelievable. Oh, just crazy.
Some of these are like 200-300 feet long. You're talking 400-500 million. Jerry Johnson flew in a helicopter and landed on his when we were out there. I mean, it's just, Yeah, there's money, and then there's just I'm gonna piss it away on a yacht money.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous. And speaking of which, I had Robin Leach on my show years ago.
What?
And he was
Robin Leach.
Yes, Robin Leach.
You should
Can I play this Tucker Carlson clip to lead off
do
our
it.
discussion?
Oh, please.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, but I ask because, you've been talking on your show about whether Trump is the Antichrist.
I have not said that.
On your show, the day after Easter, you noted he did not put his hand on the Bible during his swearing-in ceremony as president. You said, and I'm quoting, maybe he didn't put his hand on the Bible because he affirmatively rejects what's inside that book. And then on a recent show, you went further saying, here's a leader who's mocking the gods of his ancestors, mocking the God of gods, and exalting himself above them. Could this be the Antichrist?
I actually did not say, could this be the Antichrist? Here's a leader who's mocking the gods of his ancestors, mocking the God of gods, and exalting himself above them. Could this be the Antichrist?
Oh, well, did say it.
Who knows? I don't know.
Video archives are a B.
Man, it's on the internet forever. So, I mean, maybe my take is oversimplified, but I know a little bit about what drives people to be in our business, and I think he's lost it completely.
Yeah, I do too.
When you work for an entity like Fox and you're their number one draw on TV and they're paying you $20 million, whatever it was,
Just shy of what Blue Water pays.
a little bit more. Yeah, we're local, they're national. So, and they send a limo to pick you up to bring you to work, and you know everything is taken care of, and then that's gone. And I'm still not sure what the real story behind his firing is. So now you become one of the herd of podcasters, and you're not driven by the direction of a company. You're driven by your adherence to the number of clicks to make money. And I think he's just become nothing more than the rest of them, another clickbait whore. And
yeah,
but there's a bigger issue going on than that, right, David?
Well, he's talked about it at length. It's no secret. Tucker Carlson was an enormous cokehead back in the 90s, did all sorts of drugs, was an alcoholic, has been through rehab several times. And the symptoms he's exhibiting now, and I've known a lot of people with the same issues.
You know me. I recognize them too.
But you are, you're not having a relapse, right?
No.
But I think Tucker, when you look at his complexion is completely different than it was a year ago. His face is all red. He's puffy. He lies and he can't keep track of his own lies.
Obviously.
He goes off into these wilds. I mean, at one point he was talking about how Trump is a sorcerer, a real sorcerer who puts people under spells, and was deadly serious about it. I mean, he wasn't making a joke. He was deadly serious about it. And then this thing about the statement about Trump being the Antichrist or one of the Antichrists, or and all this stuff, and swearing those words never left his mouth. When they did, it was less than a month ago on his show. I mean, these are all kind of the things you see from someone who's having a big relapse of a drug addiction. Yeah. He's not in control of his emotions or his senses. And, he's either having some sort of a psychotic break, or it seems to me he's probably having a relapse, and he needs to get some help.
Absolutely. I think Fox dodged a bullet. Yeah, Fox dodged a bullet there.
Yeah.
That may have been the reason they decided to fire him too. Maybe he was using then.
Yeah.
But I am telling you this, and even though legacy media, cable media, streaming services, all of this, that landscape is rapidly shifting, but he was in an awesome spot on Fox.
Yeah.
And
Highest rated
I don't,
show in Fox's history. Yeah.
I don't care how many clicks he gets or how many people subscribe. I used to be when I did for a while, because when he started doing these things that you would get in the mail, I wanted like something like I did on TV with a 10-minute opening segment that was lucid, well put together, and had a beginning, middle, and an end. Came to a point, like David's blogs. And seriously, and I don't know where it was going, but I got bored with it very quickly. And you are, in my opinion, again, I don't know how much money he's making from any of this. It is not the same. He has taken a terrible fall. And that would be a great excuse to go back to using to, prop yourself up. Because who is he now? Who wants him now? Success is when a business entity, a powerful business entity, invests their money in you as a product that they're proud to put on with confidence.
He's a white Don Lemon.
That's a brilliant comment. What was Don Lemon doing at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, by the way?
I have
Trying to get a pardon.
Well, he got invited. I mean, so every one of those correspondents that has the pass to be in the White House gets X number of people they can invite to that thing each year. And so there's, I don't know, 80 or 100 of them, and they all have several invitations to send. It's why Kash Patel was there. Someone invited Kash Patel and his wife to be their guest. And, the other big concern I have from that thing, if we're going back to that subject, is we had 6 of the 7 people in line of succession to the presidency in that room.
Yeah.
In addition to the president. And that's crazy. That's crazy to trust the Secret Service with that.
Shouldn't Trump be the one to say, hey, you know what? We probably should not have everybody at the same location just in case.
I think he did say for the next one, Vance won't be there. But to your point about Carlson, I watch a lot of different media outlets just to hear different views, but I like Hannity at night. You like Sean Hannity?
I got tired of Hannity.
Oh,
I can't listen to him. Yeah.
But I'm talking about the radio talk show. I'm not talking about
the Fox. Yeah.
And I can't do news at night anymore because I get wired up and I can't go to sleep. I got to be.
Then I don't sleep.
Yeah.
So, but I have a ton of respect for what he's accomplished.
Yeah.
The radio show became, in fact, David and I used to, I would once in a while, this is several years back, but I could tell you exactly his favorite terms are bought and paid for,
rank and file.
Rank and file.
He's always praising the FBI rank and file. It's all the upper, but not the rank and file. And they're bought and paid for. And I just got to where I couldn't listen to him anymore. The reason I can't stand to watch his show is because the constant interruptions.
Yeah.
He has guests on and he won't let them finish a thought.
He's 100% correct.
He just won't. And it drives me insane listening.
What else, David, in the Tucker Carlson New York Times interview jumped out at you as red flag kind of stuff?
Well, him talking about there was the one clip that's about 1.5 minutes long of him talking about how J.D. Vance has been under constant attack from all these neocons in the administration, and I know it for a fact, and I can assure you that's true. And then the lady from the New York Times, who I can't stand, I'm not defending her, but she just simply says, "Well, can you tell us who any of these people are?" "Oh, I don't know who any of them are. I don't know. I couldn't name any of them."
Well, that's journalism.
I know it's a fact. Well, what's he saying there? His son Buckley has been on J.D. Vance's staff until 2 weeks ago when J.D. smartly finally got rid of him way late. And, he's talking to his son and his son is telling him these things. Right. But then but the way he rolls it out is, I know this for a fact. I know it firsthand. This is my knowledge. Well, who is it? Well, I can't tell you because I don't know, but it's real. It's a fact. And okay, if you don't know, how do you know it's a fact? You don't know it's a fact.
Right.
But anyway, he's just another person I can't listen to anymore. I just can't stand to to hear him because he's kind of lost it. He seems to have just lost all sense of moral bearings because of his hatred for Israel and Netanyahu and probably Jewish people.
Well, there's a lot of anti-Semitism out there.
But David, I like your point about, Tucker. If he is, going through issues, he gets help. So that's a good Christian mindset. Let's pray for him and hope he gets better. And
But I will tell you the God's honest truth here. You know how people get well from addictions? Consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
got to hit rock bottom, right?
Exactly.
He's just floating above the surface right now.
And for me, it was spending my last dollar to buy a bottle of rubbing alcohol, getting drunk and passing out outdoors next to a tree at a gas station in a place where I was rather well known. So when you're doing that kind of stuff, that's when you really look inwards and say, I don't want to do this, so I'm going to have to do the program seriously. This is why you see Britney Spears in the news every so often with another issue. They're all just dying one day at a time. Yeah. I'm lucky I survived.
Yeah.
To have a chance to talk about it. Hey, do you want to waste 30 seconds on Jimmy Kimmel's latest sick joke?
Oh, sure. Why not?
About Giuliani? God, being in the grave before he was hospitalized. Kimmel's really got a track record, but ABC seems to have no interest in dealing with him in any kind of consequential way.
Yeah.
He's just an awful human being. Another thing that comes up, Mamdani, with his ICE.
I love it with Mamdani. It's like, we're going to get everybody to pay for everything. And then we're $6 billion in debt. Can we get some money in our tax base back, please?
Yeah.
And Huckle's not going to bail him out.
Socialism 101. It doesn't work.
And now they're still harping on ICE. Yet, this morning, again, I posted another story. Illegal migrant butchers 2 women in savage Long Island murders, then calls cops to say he killed somebody. How often? Why is there absolutely no concern? They're still making a martyr out of that lunatic woman in Minnesota who decided, well, I'm just going to aim my car at this ICE agent. She got, in my opinion, what he had every right to defend himself. Because what is he? Yeah, was he supposed to read her mind? Well, I was going to kill her. Bull. And yet this still goes on day after day after day, and the Democrats never answer to this. And that frustrates me. Angel moms by the hundreds and stories every day. If Joe Biden doesn't let this guy in the country, he's not here to butcher 2 women in Long Island. Why is that so hard for them to comprehend, David? The Democrats are still beating the anti-ICE drum like crazy.
They just don't care. They just don't care. People don't care. They don't care because Trump's on the other side of it. So they just take the other side from Trump. And it's just a knee-jerk thing without thinking.
That is mental illness.
Yeah, it is kind of a mental illness. It really is.
That is mental illness. In other interesting news, Nissan from David Blackman abandons plans to make EVs at their Mississippi assembly plant and will make gas-powered EVs and pickups instead. There seems to be an awakening going on here. Let's say assume the worst, the Democrats get back in power. Are they going to go back to this EV Beazel Schmiezit again, or is this over?
Well, they'll try.
Well,
they'll do what they can.
This should be an option, not a requirement.
So it's interesting that the auto manufacturers, they invested billions into EV lines, especially like the Ford Lightning, your Silverado EVs, and then those tax rebates went away with Trump for EVs, and so that kind of killed that market. Gas was cheap, but now with the global economy changing with the Iran war, I could see a renewed interest in EVs, and I know, David, how you feel about it, but
you're right.
silver solid state batteries are coming online this year and next year. And you're talking a 600 to 700 mile range, no battery degradation, and also a 9-minute recharge. And that's a game changer.
Yeah.
And so you will see those come online. The problem is the grid is not ready for a mass influx of those type of vehicles. But I think long term with that technology, it will be a game changer. But to David's point, that recharging has to come from somewhere. And until we get a network of nuke plants in the U.S., you're still going to be burning fossil fuels to charge those cars up. And they're, like my Tesla is one of the fastest cars out there, and I love it, but I didn't buy it because it's green.
I support Tesla.
I buy it because it's fast, it's fun, and it's easy,
Yeah.
but they have battery degradation. Those batteries are going to fill landfills. It's a throwaway, when these new EVs with the
You
range.
bury them right next to those big windmills when they catch on fire.
But
or I saw a story about the solar panel farms that are frying birds by the thousands, but the left doesn't seem to care about that either.
Yeah, and that's sad.
No.
That one you just brought up, in the Mojave Desert, there's these mirrored arrays that focus solar energy into a tower, which then gets thermo energy that heats up a turbine, and that is great. And I saw an article about how it's like $1.9 billion in debt, and that there's cleaner, renewable energy, and they've abandoned that project. And I always thought that was great technology, but David, maybe you can speak why it's not that great.
They had a lot of technical issues with it functioning properly and delivering what they committed to deliver. And yeah, you're right. I mean, it's way underwater, and but they did extend the life of it. They were going to shut it all down and tear it all down, but the governor managed to convince the regulatory commission to extend the life of it through 2030. So it's still going to be functioning. It does kill a lot of birds. There's no doubt about that. On the EVs, I've always said my whole problem with EVs is the batteries, not the cars. Lithium-ion batteries are too limited. They have too many obvious problems. They're too dangerous to charge in your garage. You charge your insurance rates go through the roof when you buy a home charger. This has been the limitation on electric vehicles for 125 years, the batteries. And so if you do get a real true sea change, quantum leap in technology that really does work, then that's going to be the tipping point for consumers to want electric vehicles. Right now, most consumers don't want an electric vehicle because they know the problems with the batteries and the limitations on range and stuff like that.
David, I want to hit the story about
battery technology right. Electric vehicles will very rapidly ramp up just without having to be subsidized by the government. The market will do it. And that's the
then we
key.
just need a grid that can support it, and
Yeah.
That's the way it always should. Why should I underwrite somebody else's EV?
Right.
As
Exactly.
a taxpayer. Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins opens an investigation into meatpacking operations accused of price fixing. Can I play this clip that you sent?
Yeah. I mean, that's
the problem in the meat market.
Yeah, because prices remain high.
However, and this is the second part of what I want to talk about today, the consolidation in U.S. meatpacking has led to just 4 meat packers: JBS, a Brazilian-owned company, Cargill, Tyson Foods, and National Beef, another Brazilian company. Those 4 companies monopolize about 85% of the U.S. processing market today. But it hasn't always been that way. The rate of this 4-firm control has accelerated since the 1970s. According to USDA data, concentration for cattle slaughter of these 4 was only 25% in 1977 and jumped to 71% by 1992. As mentioned today, it is an astounding 85%. Notably, these 4 firms now own together more than 70 subsidiary companies today. They don't own them together, but in total, there are 70 subsidiary companies that are owned by these 4. This has led to a frightening landscape for cattle ranchers. Industry consolidation reduces options for our ranchers looking to sell their cattle. It weakens their negotiating power, and it risks reliance upon a single buyer. Today, the concentration of larger plants opens the door to tighter coordination by the Big 4 with producers, and perhaps the exertion of control over them as well, given they have limited options to sell their cattle.
I'm glad to see somebody's looking into this. And this is
I mean, it's been obvious for a while that there's price fixing happening in the meat packing and distribution industry. That's why meat prices have gone so crazy.
I had to take out a reverse home mortgage for my ribeye this weekend.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Food Outlet. Hey, by the way, Food Outlet not only has they've got vacuum packed ribeyes. You just put them in the fridge and they'll defrost in there. That are really, really good, and they're like $7.95 each, and they're big. Also, Food Outlet. I need for Mother's Day plants, tomato plants, and so forth. Over there at Coliseum Boulevard, some great stuff for you. I wanted to mention that before I forgot. And as we wrap up with David, with a
I think your
baseball thought or two. Well, John Sterling passed away today. He will be missed. He's worked with Susie, his partner, for many, many years. Probably the best woman in baseball broadcasting because she knows her stuff. She wasn't a token hire, or let's put it like so many of them. And our teams are doing well.
Doing okay.
The Yankees.
Doing okay.
The Dodgers did that last year. Oh, that's my fault, of course.
We're all about the echoes.
Everything's my fault.
Blame me.
No.
But you're right.
I'm
The
a
Yankees are
scapegoat.
doing great. They're the best record in baseball. The Cubs are doing great. They're the second best or third best record in baseball. The Dodgers have been run of the mill for 10 games. They're 5-5. But
Shohei hasn't been.
Yeah,
I mean,
Ohtani
he's
really
pitched
hadn't
great.
even gotten started yet. And yeah, he's
Yeah.
been great on the mound, but lousy at bat. Which is why I would
Yeah.
rather they stop trying to pitch him, frankly. But he's too
Oh,
good.
he pitches. He's great.
Atlanta looking strong. I know a lot of our local listeners like Atlanta.
Yeah, the Braves are going crazy, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
Crazy.
And then teams. How about the Mets, the New York Mets? Wow, with their $750 million. Did you see anything about a story that Juan Soto, because he's a Trump hater, asked the Mets to get rid of Brandon Nimmo?
Yes.
because
That's a true
he didn't
story.
want to.
Yeah.
It is a true story.
Oh yeah, it's a true story. That's why they traded Nimmo. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got the
It's
Mom Downey.
absolutely
They
a
got the
true
Mom
story.
Downey curse.
Yeah.
Wow. And yet none of the leftist sports talk show hosts are saying anything about it.
Right. Oh, and how about the National League Central Division, a collective combined 29 games over 500, by far the best division in baseball. By far. It's not even close. And the rest of the major leagues are below 500 combined, but the National League Central is 29 games over.
Well, those Brewers, powerhouse. Cubs finally pulling it together. Pittsburgh has been playing well.
Pittsburgh, yes, and Cincinnati.
Yeah, the
Just
Reds.
insane, man. Yeah.
And the Cardinals, who set this year up basically to be a transition year, they're way over their heads.
Yeah,
They're actually over 500
they
too.
took that series from the Dodgers, 2 out of 3.
And it was great to break the ice to be a baseball stadium announcer for a night. That was
the Biscuits.
I used to do
Living the
that.
dream.
Yeah,
Living the
I
dream.
used to do football and baseball and women's basketball.
My daughter is
when I
singing
was
there
in college.
Wednesday at the game.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have Murph
Wednesday
in the
afternoon.
studio with us either tomorrow.
I went to church with Murph. I saw him there at a game a couple weeks ago.
We got the GM of our team, the Biscuits. We're in the Rays organization, which is well run, as you know, David.
Mhm.
David, thank you for the overtime this afternoon, buddy.
Yeah, we appreciate
Absolutely.
your intelligence, wit, and wisdom more than you know, as does our avid listeners.
And we want more of it. Thursday?
Thirsty
Yeah, I'll be back
Thursday.
there.
Come on down.
Absolutely.
We'll all be thirsty for more David Blackman on Thursday. Thank you, my friend.
All right, see y'all later. Have a good
DavidBlackman.substack.com.
one.
Subscribe, Blackman.substack for energy. Skipper.com for traffic.
All right, we have a new accident. Fisk at McGee. Please use caution there. Very busy now on East and East South Boulevard, I-65 and 85 building. We're seeing more and more folks get off work and get out on the roads. Going to be really busy here a bit as traffic bills keep it here. We'll update you if any accidents happen. At McKenna Nissan, you can get a 2026 Frontier from 1.9% for 60 months. See David for all the details. It's worth the drive. McKenna Nissan exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up. Wendell J., Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm John Scott. Stocks fell from their record heights while oil prices jumped following escalations in the Middle East that may be undermining the ceasefire in the war with Iran. The S&P 500 fell 0.4% coming off its latest all-time high. The Dow dropped 1.1%, while the Nasdaq Composite slipped 0.2%. Stocks turned lower after the United Arab Emirates, a U.S. ally, said it came under attack by Iran for the first time since the ceasefire took hold in early April. The attacks appeared to be in response to President Trump's latest efforts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The Dow dropped 557 points to finish at 48,941. The Nasdaq lost 46 to 25,067. The S&P fell 29 to 7,200. This is the Wall Street Business Report.
And this is a painting of my grandfather, the only one he ever had made.
Sometime, take a close look around your house.
This sewing machine was my Aunt Mary's.
If you have possessions that are irreplaceable, consider this. Each year, over 65,000 American homes suffer a fire due to an electrical problem. Are our possessions safe? To know for sure, call Crosby Electric, your exclusive provider of Current Safe, the world's foremost home diagnostic system. Using high-tech equipment, Crosby Electric will check your hidden wiring, panel box, light switches, and electrical outlets to pinpoint potential problems and make sure your things are safe.
Oh, my daughter's second-grade art project. I'd die if something happened to this.
Some things can't be replaced by insurance. Don't wait another day. Call 272-2085 for an in-home no-obligation assessment or visit crosbyelectric.com. Don't just think it's safe. Know it's safe.
Now you'll be safe with Current Safe.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide you the level of health care you have come to expect from Adams Drugs. The employees at Adams Drugs take pride in developing relationships with their patients, from making sure your prescriptions are filled correctly to getting to know you and your family's needs and following up on any questions you may have. Adams Drugs employees deliver top-notch service. We ask you to visit us at any of our locations in Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, and Pine Level Marbury and give us a chance to earn your business. You can find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
2026 marks 60 years that hope has had a home in Alabama. At the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches, children who've lost everything through no fault of their own have found something priceless. A safe place to live, a loving Christian family, and the chance to simply be kids again. Here, boys and girls grow up surrounded by care, guidance, and faith, learning right from wrong, learning responsibility, learning they are valued and that their lives have purpose. As the Alabama sheriffs have believed for 6 decades, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women. These former ranchers are now teachers, parents, business owners, and leaders, living proof that love, structure, and faith can change a life forever. As the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches celebrate 60 years of serving Alabama's children, you could help ensure the next child has the same chance. Learn how you could make a difference at alabamasheriffsyouthranches.org. 60 years of building lives, and we're just getting started.
Your favorite radio show continues next. Actually, it doesn't, because they'll play music and just sit around doing nothing.
From the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. military says it fired on Iranian forces and sank 6 small boats as it moved to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The United Arab Emirates, a key American ally, said it had come under attack from Iran on Monday. It was the first such attack on the UAE since a fragile ceasefire took hold in early April. The Supreme Court has restored broad access to the abortion pill mifepristone, blocking a ruling that had threatened to upend one of the main ways abortion is provided across the nation. The order issued Monday allows women seeking abortions to obtain the pill at pharmacies or through the mail without an in-person visit to a doctor. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 557 points, the Nasdaq dropped 46. More details at srnnews.com.
I'm Stephanie Bryan, chairwoman of the Porch Creek Indians. Tourism and hospitality are more than industries to the Porch Creek Indians. Providing a warm welcome is part of our heritage. It's central to who we are. From Atmore to Aruba, we've created more than 20 unique travel and tourism destinations, providing unforgettable guest experiences and life-changing career opportunities for our tribe and our neighbors in Alabama and beyond. Learn more at porchcreekindians.org.
I'm Todd Strange, and I had the privilege of being the mayor of Montgomery 2009 to 2019. As mayor, our top priorities were the safety of our city and community development. Unfortunately, in recent years, violence has raised its ugly head. We all have seen what's happening in our community. More has to be done to ensure the safety of Montgomery. For that reason, I'm backing Republican Katherine Robinson for Attorney General. She has stood tall for Montgomery and said enough is enough. Katherine has worked in the Attorney General's office for 10 years. I've seen her lead and help set up the Montgomery Area Crime Suppression Unit and help pass tough new laws to target gang activity. Katherine Robinson cares about Montgomery, and she will work with Coach Strobel to put an end to violent crime and restore law and order. Katherine will deliver. On May 19th, join me in voting for Katherine Robinson for Attorney General.
Paid for by Robertson for Attorney General, P.O. Box 50063, Birmingham, Alabama 35253.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by M&M Outdoors. Book your stay today at MNMCampground.com for relaxation at its best. It's easy to find and hard to leave. M&M Outdoors, your home away from home.
Well, hi, everybody. We are enjoying some warmer days and some nights that are not quite as cool. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Overnight low temperature down to about 51. That's still jacket weather. Tomorrow, I think we're a little warmer with mostly sunny skies, up to about 82 on Tuesday, 87 for a high on Wednesday. Risk of a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm by Wednesday afternoon. But I think the better chances of rain and thunderstorms, some possibly severe, in the overnight hours Wednesday night into the first half of the day on Thursday. We'll keep an eye on it for you. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Del Rey to Publix.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
You guys suck.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Spirit Airlines officially shutting down, and it's a ghost town here at the terminal. No lines, no agents, and that's because there's no flights.
We broke up, now she wants me back.
Gonna fly off to see my girlfriend. But there's no ticket for me to buy, 'cause there's no more spirit in the sky. There's no more spirit in the sky. How am I gonna see my girlfriend if I can't fly? The other airlines all cost too much, and the situation really sucks.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Our Vector is 93.1 FM on your dial. I'm Greg Budell. Tom Moore, sidekicking today. Great job as we visited the Idiocracy with David Blackman. And now we get to visit, by the way, I'm sorry, 17,000 people out of work with the Spirit shut down. Good work, Elizabeth Warren, you moron, you fake Indian, you twit. But man, they had a lot of problems at the gate with brawls and little riots. Unbelievable. Now, there was a riot going on in the market today. Let's talk to Mr. Right on the Money, Brant McDonald from Invista Advisors. Brant, how are you?
Hey, Greg, I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. It was a nice weekend after all the rain we got, much needed rain.
Yeah.
But beautiful on Saturday and Sunday, you know?
It was. I'm on the brink of death. I didn't get to enjoy it the way I had planned, but I'm still here.
Good grief.
So you people are stuck with me.
Oh, crap! Ah, damn it!
Until death do us part. Not the happiest day, but as you've been saying, Brant, things need to start clarifying and resolving with Iran and the flow of oil, or it's going to come back. And after the market brushed 50,000 again, it's not close to that today.
Yeah. I mean, right now the market seems to be, for the most part, if you just zoom out and look at it, it's kind of shrugging things off here lately. With this anticipation and a belief that we're going to find some sort of resolution to this eventually. I will tell you, though, you look at the action in the Treasury bond market, like today, for example, the 30-year Treasury bond yield back over 5%. I mean, that's not good. You look at the action in the 10-year Treasury bond yield, it continues to move higher. Essentially, the market is starting to price in higher inflation over the summer months, possibly into the fall. If I had to handicap this, I would say that we're probably going to be looking at a CPI number that will be somewhere in the 4% range. If this lasts, say, another month to 6 weeks in this current state that we're in, I would not be surprised to see an inflation number that could print around a 5%. The thing about this is, and I know you've had David Blackman on, but I would tell you our research indicates that even if it was announced this afternoon that an agreement was in place, and that, the Iranians agree to open up the strait and all of that, it takes some time to get those vessels moving again at a pace that they were on before, number one. Number two, it also assumes that there aren't some sort of rogue elements in Iran that don't start up some sort of shenanigans, and blow up a tanker or do something crazy, which almost always seems to happen in these types of situations. The third thing I would say is that you look at Europe and certainly in Asia. You think about Asia, the anchor in that region, no question, is China, but you have some of the smaller emerging economies like Malaysia, Taiwan, Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, just the list goes on and on. And many of those nations are heavily dependent on Iranian oil, Middle Eastern oil as well.
Yep.
And you look at the manufacturing process and the way that these contracts are done. You look at forward contracts, and certainly U.S. corporations at the wholesale level are gearing up. We know this because we've seen them talking about it. They're gearing up with a wide expectation that their import costs are about to start going a lot higher. and that's going to get passed on to U.S. consumers. So, it takes time to slow that thing down, and that's why I think even if they were to announce something today, you've got to remember there's going to be what I call a risk premium in the Middle East. It doesn't just go back to the risk premium doesn't fall to the levels before the war began.
Right.
It takes time for that to happen. You're talking about insurance carriers and all kinds of things. And so anyway.
Well, Brant, let me ask you this, Brant, for our listeners that are hearing, that 10-year, yields at 4.5% and, pending imploding bond market. What are your recommendations for safe assets that beat inflation this year? Are you looking at gold and silver, some S&P ETFs? What would you recommend to our listeners?
So, if you look at the S&P, I'll break it down real quick for you. If you look at the Standard & Poor's 500, the S&P 500, most of the returns have largely come from some of the tech names. We know this over the last 12 months or so. Market is broadening out a little bit. But if you look at valuations in the market, man, it's stretched in super thin. We're in rare air. I mean, I've given so many different indicators, whether it's price to sales, price to book, CAPE ratio, which is Shiller's PE adjusted ratio. If you look at Buffett's indicator, which is the total market cap of the market divided by the size of the U.S. economy, we're at record levels now, over 250%. In history, you look historically at 200% level, you typically get a pretty major market sell-off at that kind of level. You look at gold. Gold has not really been a safe haven here lately because the dollar has been stronger in this environment. If you do get the inflation that we're talking about, you're going to see yields be higher. The other thing that's a wild card in all of this, and I'll answer your question here in just a second. A major wild card in all of this is the new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, who's coming in, and I think he's going to be the chairman in name only because the voting members, remember, Jay Powell's going to stay on that board. Mm-hmm. If you include him plus the other three presidents, he'll have a 4-3 voting majority. This is going to be a major problem for the new Fed chair. So at the end of the day, here's where we're left. Here's what we're left with. At our firm right now, for the clients who are listening to me, we are at a very high level of cash that's sitting in U.S. Treasury money markets and also short-term T-bills. If we add it all up, we're running at about a 60% allocation to cash and T-bills, which is the highest we've been in a long time.
Yeah, and Buffett's doing the same thing. I think if you look at Berkshire Hathaway, the record levels just getting that 4%, money market, to protect themselves.
That's exactly right. He owns about $400 billion of U.S. T-bills, short-term T-bills. And so we just, I have to, I've been doing this 36 years, and I just, having gone through a lot of different market environments, I try to, I run these portfolios and manage money based on rules and disciplines. I try to be agnostic and check my emotions at the door. And when I look at the valuations, it's just really scary. And then all of the geopolitical risk is the backdrop. But again, my hope would be that that things settle down. Now, I will add to this, and we'll wrap it up with this, Greg. If we do get an agreement in place and we can kind of quickly get back to business as usual, I think you're then going to see dollar weakness. I think that the yields can start to come down a touch, not a lot. But I think in that environment, gold begins to really rip higher again. Because the U.S. fiscal profile is still very problematic. The deficit spending is still a major problem.
Yep. JP Morgan's calling for gold at 5,500 by the end of the year. That'd be a 20% increase from where we're at now. And if you're looking for some gold, I know a guy who sells it in Montgomery.
Really?
But no, Brant, we appreciate you calling in. Great advice to our listeners out there. Make sure you're doing something with your money. Call Brant, get into a money market, at least get that 4% to beat inflation. Make sure your money's working for you.
That's why this man is on the radio with us, Monday through Friday.
I love it. Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a great evening, and look forward to chatting tomorrow.
Likewise, enjoy the weather.
Always thanks for the insights, Brant.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
We have another interesting phone guest joining us shortly.
Do tell.
David Merlin. Magician.
Whoa, what a name.
He's going to be appearing here in town. A master wizard. One night only Friday, this coming Friday, 7 o'clock at the Millbrook Theater. So we will talk to him, in about 9 shopping minutes or so. If my head doesn't explode between now and then. By the way, again, our thanks to Montgomery Paint and Body for sponsoring our tour of the Idiocracy, another amazing afternoon with David Blackman, who will rejoin us on Thursday at 3:30 p.m. At 5:25, it's off to Skipperville.
Well, the further into the afternoon we go, the busier we get, and a lot of folks are getting out on the roads now. 65 and 85 building, very busy traffic. The boulevards are loading up. We are not seeing any real issues at the moment other than one accident. Fisk at McGee. Please watch out for emergency vehicles there. Keep it here. We'll update you if any accidents happen to slow you down. McKinnon Toyota just received a shipment of Toyota 4Runners, financing as low as 2.9%. Plus, you get that small town service. They're family owned. McKinnon Toyota. Exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up. Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
Hey, Biscuits fans, the 2026 season at Davos Park is packed with fun all summer long. Don't miss exciting giveaways, theme nights, and spectacular Max fireworks shows throughout the year. Enjoy weekly favorites like tacos and tallboys on Tuesdays, 334 nights on Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, and family-friendly Sundays with Bark in the Park and Low Crumbs giveaways. Plus, special events, community nights, and more make every game unique. For tickets and more information, visit biscuitsbaseball.com or call the box office at 323-BALL.
At Blue Water Broadcasting, we believe great advertising starts with relationships. That's why so many local business owners trust us, not just for radio, but for digital too. If you're already running digital advertising and you're not seeing results, it may be time to explore your option. Our team takes the time to understand your business, then builds custom campaigns using a multi-channel conversion-focused approach. So whether it's digital display, social media, or you need help increasing your online presence, Blue Water Broadcasting can help. Before your next campaign, let's have a conversation. Visit bluewaterbroadcasting.com.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
It is 5:28. Tom Moore sidekicking with us today from Trademark Coins and Currency, but you are a worldly man. No doubt about that. What are some of the hot things that you're doing in your business these days? By the way, I took that penny collection to New Orleans, and that's where it's going to stay. My daughter was fascinated.
That's awesome. We need to have her on the show sometime up here.
She's been on the air with me from time to time, special occasions. But because I'm her dad, that can be a very inhibiting factor.
You're still cooler than the other side of the pillow to me.
It's great to know, but
no, in my business right now, believe it or not, a lot of sellers. So I think what we just talked about, inflation's high, gas is expensive. So folks are looking to liquidate. So they're inheriting gold coins, sterling silverware. A lot of women came in this weekend with scrap gold and gold jewelry that they're not wearing anymore. And I think they're always pleasantly surprised how much they get for their gold. We're open 12 to 4 Tuesday through Friday, and the rest by appointment. So if you've got, gold coins, silver coins, bullion, scrap gold jewelry, sterling silverware, we pay more than anyone else, and we pay in cold hard cash if you like cash money.
TrademarkCoinsAndCurrency.com.
You got it.
All right. We got a call. Good
Merlin.
afternoon.
Hey, it's the Master Thespian.
Whoa. I was thinking about texting you, the Great Warhawk. You're not going to be here tomorrow, right?
I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but I will be here Wednesday.
Oh.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump-a-doodle-doo. That's good news. Pamela will be here. What did she tell me? Pamela will be here. Things are starting to settle down for her a little bit.
Well, Thespian, what's new in your world? What's shaking on a Monday?
Oh, not much. I know you've heard this 40 billion times today, but may the fourth be with you.
41 billion now.
Yeah. But I got some stuff I need to bring to you. I've got some silver certificates, some really old, I've got like an old $1 and an old $10.
You should have cashed them in 1964. The silver would have been worth a lot more.
I know. And got some old pennies and some old quarters and stuff.
Nice.
So I just need to bring them in.
Yeah. They made gold certificates back in the day where it's actually backed by gold. You could turn that in until 1933 for gold.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
It is
that
crazy.
If the money was actually based on something real.
For thousands of years, our money was based on real intrinsic gold and silver, and it's just.
And now a dollar is worth $1 because we think it is.
It's just a promise.
That's not a very sound system, in my opinion.
Well, and probably what I need to do is to check in your supplies to mount these things, put them in sleeves and things, so I can pass them on to my grandchildren. That might be. Better than trying to see if there's any, real value. Because a wheat penny is still a penny, and they're not worth a lot.
They're worth 4 to 5 cents each just in the copper. But I think as time goes, they'll get more popular since we're not making them anymore. But we got you hooked up like a tow truck. You come on in, we'll get you all the stuff to get your notes preserved and get you in an album so the kids can appreciate them down the road.
Yeah. What's interesting is that we're seeing a lot of older coins coming through Domino's.
Interesting.
So I wonder if people are cashing out piggy banks, or if they're inheriting things from their parents and grandparents, or just finding stuff after somebody dies. And there's this stash of old coins.
Yeah, it's interesting. The number of tellers from Montgomery that come in, I swear some of them make more from us than they do working at the bank, because people are depositing these rolls of quarters and $50. And if you didn't know, any dime, quarter, or $50 from 1964 and older is 90% silver. And it's like, we're paying out $500 for a roll of quarters these days, and these sellers are getting them for $10 because that's, they tell people, hey, you need to take these to Tom, but they're like, nope, just cash them in. And the teller's like, okay, here's $10 in the till. I'll go make $500.
Yeah. I haven't seen very many quarters that are older than 64, but I'm seeing a lot of stuff from the 70s and 80s that are coming now. And every now and then you see wheat pennies, and even a Mercury dime came through. That was kind of fun.
Well, Thespian, we love hearing your voice. We'll hear you on Wednesday. We got Merlin waiting in the wings here. We hope you have a blessed evening.
Thank you. And I'll come by and see you at your store.
Look forward to it. Cheers.
Bye.
The magic happens next, 5:33.
We are seeing some slow traffic out of Montgomery on I-65 northbound across the Alabama River Bridge and up 65. We have a emergency vehicle with lights on urging people to get over in their left lane, but it appears all lanes are open. That is causing a bit of a backup and slowdown on 65 northbound. Busy everywhere else. We'll keep you updated if any new accidents happen. Tommy House Studios is more than just a website builder. They help small businesses grow. With 25 years of proven results, they know what works. Visit TommyHouse.com to get started today. Buckle up with the Jay Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
News is brought to you by Bath Innovations. Call Bath Innovations today to schedule your free in-home consultation.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. The Alabama legislature is back in town to begin a special session today. Governor Kay Ivey called the session following a Supreme Court decision regarding how congressional district maps are drawn. The governor stated she expects the matter to be completed within 5 days. Alabama's May 19th primary election is still ongoing as planned. A Montgomery County man has been sentenced for raping and unlawfully imprisoning 2 women. Reuben Atkins pleaded guilty to the charges and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Court documents show that Atkins lured female victims to his house and sexually assaulted them. He then demanded money in exchange for their release. Montgomery Whitewater is searching for a new executive director following the departure of Jason Wilson. The change comes just over a week after the park halted water activities to make repairs to its filtration system. An official statement said Wilson's departure had nothing to do with the shutdown, and water activities are expected to resume on June 1st. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Bath Innovations of Alabama can replace your old bathtub with a low-step shower featuring built-in seating, secure grab bars, and slip-resistant flooring, often installed in as little as 1 day. Call Bath Innovations of Alabama today to schedule your free in-home consultation.
Alabama weather will never fail to surprise you. Our lawns hardly get a chance to have any downtime, and as usual, it's already time to start getting ready for spring. This year, save the hard work and aggravation and call Alabama Lawns, the River Region's leader in weed control and fertilization services. What makes Alabama Lawns the River Region's best? It's the people. They have the experience, education, and commitment to customer satisfaction. Ask your neighbors. Alabama Lawns has been the Montgomery Advertiser's Reader's Choice Award winner 14 years in a row. The Alabama Lawn staff is made up of long-term employees and agronomy graduates, and the staff at Alabama Lawns attend annual continuing education classes. It pays to have someone that knows southern grass types and how to keep them green and flourishing. Call Alabama Lawns today at 272-7171 and let them show you real value in lawn maintenance service. Alabama Lawns, the company with black trucks and green lawns.
It's time to show Mom how much you appreciate her with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Mother's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call. 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for Mom. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations, 285-1000.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines.
Truckers, listen up. A $2,500 sign-on bonus only at Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Work for a company that puts God and family first. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines work for the best in the business.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We are enjoying some warmer days and some nights that are not quite as cool. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Overnight low temperature down to about 51. That's still jacket weather. Tomorrow, I think we're a little warmer with mostly sunny skies, up to about 82 on Tuesday, 87 for a high on Wednesday. Risk of a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm by Wednesday afternoon. But I think the better chances of rain and thunderstorms, some possibly severe, in the overnight hours Wednesday night into the first half of the day on Thursday. We'll keep an eye on it for you. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
We promised you a magic man, and sorry, Tom, it's not you, it's not me. But he's joining us now on the phone.
Cold late nights so long ago.
And it's all part of a fundraiser for the Millbrook Theater. Please welcome to our radio station, I want to make sure I get this right, David Merlin, Master Wizard. Is that correct, sir?
That is correct. How you doing?
I'm good. Happy to help out the Millbrook Theater when they've got something good going on. It's been a long time. I once attended a magician's convention, which was fascinating because they had a show on Saturday night where like 20 or 30 guys would do all these amazing things. Tell us, though, about your act, and let's sell some tickets for the benefit.
Yeah, well, actually, you know, I was born here in Alabama, in Fort Payne, and raised in Sylacauga, Alabama.
Uh-huh.
And I got into close-up magic many years ago, and then it kind of evolved into illusion, grand scale illusion. And for the past 10 years, I've really gotten heavy into the mind reading. So that's a big portion of the show. So there's tons of audience participation, and along with the grand illusions.
Man, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does. Very interactive. I know a little bit about Grand Illusion because my name is on that album by Styx. That's hard, not Styx. Seriously. But the mind reading part, how does this work with the crowd?
It really goes over well because most people, to start with, have never got to see an illusion show up close and personal. And then by doing the big tricks like that, and then really delving into their minds and the predictions that I make, most people just can't even comprehend it. It's that powerful.
Wow!
And I use about probably 70 to 75 different people in the audience.
Wow!
In order to achieve this, and sometimes I'll be reading 3 minds at once. So it's something you have to really come and experience. I mean, it's unlike any kind of show you've ever seen before.
Yeah, it reminds me of The Illusionist. He was actually the guest at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and he was guessing Caroline Leavitt's unborn baby's name. I think that's a big crowd pleaser. Now, I love the sleight of hand, like you said, the close-up stuff. I think folks are in for a treat. And remind us again, David, when is your show?
It's going to be on this Friday at 7 p.m. at the Millbrook Theater. And some of your people listening have probably seen me on America's Got Talent or Governor Mike Huckabee Show, David Letterman, Comic Relief.
Holy cow!
And I was also on Penn and Teller's Fool Us, so I've been on quite a few television shows.
I feel like a nobody now. I got my name in a Styx album. This guy has been on national TV and with some pretty heavy hitters. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When did you nurture this interest in magic? How old were you when you started delving into it?
Well, it started in the very late 80s, and it just kind of started as a hobby. And I had building skills, and I was able to draw and design. So everything that you see in my show, I've actually designed it and built it. And many years ago, I was the person that they hired for producers to help pitch the Wizarding World of Harry Potter to Universal Studios.
No kidding.
Yeah. I was living out in Las Vegas at the time and got approached. I was performing in San Diego at the Acura Car Show and got produced. This producer came up and said, I've got this event in 3 weeks and I have no clue what I'm doing. And he said, I've got to pitch this new theme park idea, and it's about a boy wizard. And I said, what is it? And he says, there's 3 books, and it's called Harry Potter. And at the time, I had no clue what Harry Potter was. So in 3 weeks, I was working 16-hour days and with other illusion builders and putting this big presentation together. And for a long time, I didn't think anything was going to happen. And then now it's the biggest theme park attraction in the world.
This is an amazing story. I also wanted to know, what age were you when you started getting...
Actually, I was in my, mid-20s when I started.
Wow.
And it just evolved, I've just gotten better and better as the years go on, and the more you're on stage, the more polished you become. And a lot of my show is got a lot of comedy involved with it. So, and it's clean, it's a family show. So
that's awesome.
I mean, I do just about it. I mean, everything from corporate entertainment to big upscale country clubs to cruise ships. I've been all over the world doing this stuff. So I love it when I can come back home to Alabama and actually do some of the smaller theaters too.
Millbrook Theater, perfect. Yeah, I mean, this is world-class entertainment here, friends, at the Millbrook Theater.
Sounds like a good Mother's Day gift. Get Mama some tickets to the show.
You know what?
Yeah.
That is a good idea.
And I need you to come into my shop and teach me some coin tricks so I can wow my clients with some sleight of hand.
I should have came. I should have came in studio today, and we could have did some mind reading right on air.
Whoa.
I was going to say next time.
Well, if you're in the
I'm gonna do
neighborhood,
something.
we're here every afternoon
Yeah.
from 3 to 6. I got some minds I'd love to have you read. I did participated in a David Copperfield illusion in Miami not long before I moved to Alabama. And I found it amazing. In his case, that's a very different thing, how he was able to completely distract the audience as a group and divert their attention so they wouldn't see the obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Are you talking about making all the audience members disappear on stage?
Yeah, I was part of a group of 13 that vanished.
Yeah. Yep.
And he did it so authentically that my daughter, who was in the crowd, actually was worried.
Yeah, I almost went to work with Copperfield back in the 90s, but it didn't come about. But I'm really good friends with his right hand guy. So I've met Copperfield many times.
You know, after that show ended and that illusion, because we had to stay backstage, he came up to us, and when David Copperfield has a serious face on, it's serious, and he said, "Just want you to know, if any of you tells the story about how this illusion happened, I'll have to kill you." And it looked like he really meant it, you know? I eventually did spill the beans later when I knew he was out of town. But it's still just incredibly, incredible fun. And I'll tell you what, for a night of very different entertainment, this is something that you should consider doing. How do people get tickets for your show?
Yeah, you can go to the millbrooktheater.com and order them, and they're really reasonably priced. And I mean, I can't stress it enough how much fun it will be to bring the family out. And I would say kids probably 7 and up. Some younger will enjoy the illusions, but some of this stuff that I do with the mind reading and predictions, I mean, it really challenges your mind. So it's unlike anything you've ever experienced.
It sure sounds like it. I mean, this is really exciting, and it's you hit the nail on it. Take Mom out for some magic of a very different nature. This is not your garden variety. David, who was the guy that advertised on TV for years, and he sold those magic kits?
Oh, I think his name was Brodeen. I think.
Yeah. I had a buddy that bought one of those things, and there was enough in it for him to pursue it to the point where he was participating. He never turned pro, but he just loved doing it.
Yeah.
You can be the life at any party you attend. I'm sure you are.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people are into the art of close-up magic. I mean, just tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands just in the United States. It's great for when you're at parties and
sure.
But with me, I wanted to take it to another level and be totally different in what I do. And like I said, I design and build all my stuff and come up with ideas. I've probably in the past built illusions for probably over 50 different illusionists around the world.
Wow. The last, I think, magician I saw was on a cruise, and you probably know him, David, Nathan Fan. He was on America's Got Talent. You ever met him?
Yeah.
And we just loved him, and we got to meet him afterwards, interact with him on the ship. I think that's typically when we get to see magic shows, but I think our family would enjoy your show on Friday. So I think we're going to get some ticks for the fam.
Yeah, you should definitely come out. Yeah, I know Nathan. He's a great comedy magician.
Yeah.
We're very different styles, as you would see when you come to the show, but that's the great thing when everybody can have their own unique personality.
Yep. Well, I wish I could attend this thing. I sincerely do, but I do hope we help you sell it out. Our guest has been David Merlin, Master Wizard. He's at the Millbrook Theater this Friday night at 7 o'clock. millbrooktheater.com for tickets, or call 782-7317 in the 334 area code. Or if you want any of this information, just shoot me a note and I'll send it to you. I'll also put this up on social media for you. We're very grateful you're able to take time out of your schedule and join us. And
if they want to see some videos, go on my website, davidmerlin.com, and get to know me a little bit there. And come out to the show, and I'd love to meet everybody afterwards.
Awesome.
All right. So glad you took time out to join us, and we'll do everything we can to help you make this a raging success. Congratulations on a fantastic career, man.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. I love talk radio. That's one of my ways to pass time, when I'm traveling.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, man. We're very grateful.
Yeah.
Take care. That's got to be.
That's going to be a good show. Yeah.
All right. Let me see. I wanted to. I also we got to get his wait a minute. Let's grab this.
DavidMerlin.com.
DavidMerlin.com.
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon.
I got cut off with you.
Sorry, we were just saying
going
your
to
website.
break.
Yeah, we were just saying DavidMerlin.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, do you have any visits to the river region or in the area planned beyond this Friday if somebody can't make it?
I don't know when I'm going to be doing anything around Montgomery in the near future. I mean, I would love to. The last time I did something in Montgomery, it was at the Montgomery Country Club, and that was, probably 20 years ago.
Wow.
Maybe
after this show, you'll get some more bookings here in the Gump or the River region.
Yeah, I mean, I do all kind of stuff, like I know it's a big political town. I love doing political fundraisers and all kind of stuff like that.
All right. David, we're out of time for the afternoon, but I will also be helping promote your event on the morning show here on News Talk between 6 and 9 tomorrow.
Great, man. We greatly appreciate it.
No, glad to do it. It's been a blast. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll do some mind reading next time I'm in town on your show.
Awesome.
That I would love.
Yep.
That I would love. So just let me know when you're going to be around so we can work it in.
All right.
You take care.
Good deal.
I don't know if I want my mind read.
Well, we had an accident a few minutes ago. Officer-involved accident, Gibbons Drive at Atlanta Highway. That is out near Arrowhead. Please watch out for emergency vehicles there. Still very busy. 85 northbound, Bell to Taylor to Chantilly. 65 northbound, East South Boulevard. Those are busy areas.